What? Coming to you live
from Skywalker Studios.
What's going on, Cowboys Nation? Big Game James, Skywalker Steele. Whole lot of news done happened, Big Game.
Whole lot.
That means we got a party, though, before we get to it. Let's go. Come on. It's a packed house up in here. Facebook in the building. Shout out to Dack. Woo. What my man Law say? Big Game James, everything remains the same.
Yes, sir. We are back.
Yeah, we're back. We thought about going on yesterday. But today we definitely had to come on. A lot of news is happening around the league. But before we get into us real quick, I know I want to do the introductions, but how about that Todd Gurley stuff?
Yeah, I mean, all signs were pointing. Everybody was talking about the rumors, him going to Tampa Bay, being reunited with Tom Brady. Tom Brady gets some extra weapons over there. Yeah. And then you saw a loop come out of nowhere with the Atlanta signing. But, hey, he says he's happy because, he went to Georgia. He played college out there, so he's saying he's going back home. So, hey, that kind of threw me off, but yeah, maybe he felt like, this is the spot. And, hey, ho, we already had a $2 holla from – it's your boy D. White and Aaron Lewis. Come with the $1.99 holla. Donation.
Shout out to everybody in the chat so far. Chris.
Shout out to everybody.
Smooth. Rue. What up, Rue? Brandon.
What up, Rue Glock?
Jop. Aaron Lewis. Derek. Zoe. Y'all in the building. Dallas Super Bowl number 6. Of course, our guy. I called him the Underground. Adam Schefter. Stevie Mack.
Yes, him and Jamie O'Day. Y'all two are y'all two go hammer time with the info. I love y'all.
What's up,
Salutes.
Sip, Young King, everybody, y'all up in here, man. Appreciate it. John Moore just popped up in here. How everybody doing with this quarantine and chill going on, man? Everybody all right?
Nah, I ain't feeling
Jeff
it.
In the building. I know it's kind of crazy.
I already told you I ain't feeling it. I was already frustrated when California went on lockdown and then New York, and then they're already asking President, Trump that is it going to be a nationwide? I feel like that's going to be next, and it's just going to be frustrating because I feel like in my heart, I get a little restless, but I can chill. But I think countries are more used to when the whole country say lockdown, they're used to, okay, we're going inside. Americans are more used to being liberal and having freedom and First Amendment rights. That'll work for a little bit, but after a little while, the natives will start getting restless, and then that's when the little riots will start happening, and then that's when the unrest. So I hope this is not long term because I don't see anything good coming out of it.
I hope it ain't long term either, sir. I hope it ain't long term either. But we want to try to take you guys, take that out of your hands. We don't want you guys to think about it too much, and that's why we're here.
That's why we're here.
Right. And I was going to just kind of start with just general news about us, but I gotta ask you about it. Everson Griffin, man.
Man.
I was going to Everson Griffin has been rumored, not even rumored. It is a accurate report that he is interested in the Cowboys, and the Cowboys are interested in Everson Griffin as the talks break off with him and the Vikings. Now, I don't want to talk as what's up, my Cowboys family? I don't want to talk as if this is a definite, but let's just hypothetically, look at this situation here. If we bring in an Everson Griffin, I mean, how much does that improve this defensive line? We could not be done either.
It definitely improves the defensive line. I mean, Everson Griffin has been a stout player since he's been in the league. I think he left Minnesota as the third all-time leading sack leader in Minnesota history, behind, I believe, Chris Dolman, and I don't know if it was Jared Allen, one of those two guys, but he ended up being third all-time. Last year, he still had 8 sacks to go with his season, played 78% of the snaps, been a pretty consistent guy. 12 sacks, 2014, 2015, 10 and a half, 2019, 8 sacks, 2017, 13. You feel me?
Right.
So even at the age of 32, if you were to sign him up and get him maybe like a Quinn, a 2-year deal, man, that would be huge, because then we all know we want Randy Gregory to come back, and we're all excited because of the new league negotiations with the marijuana thing like that. But you got a solid guy who can still contribute. He's not over the hill as far as being able to produce, and then it makes it easier for you to slide in. Greg, you don't have to put all that extra pressure on him coming in, not playing, and everybody throwing that pressure on him like, oh, we got Gregory, so he's got to come in and be the savior on that right defensive end. Slide Everson Griffin in, then Everson Griffin in, then you still got D-Law, and then you add a Randy Gregory in there. Whoa, and then you got a Gerald McCoy who can slide in and out. Man, it looks real good right there.
Real good, and that might be an understatement. I believe this one would definitely lessen the blow of losing Robert Quinn, because right now we have done nothing to kind of, soften that blow. I understand we got Gerald McCoy, and we'll get into that here in a second, but we need somebody on that opposite side that will play. We know Randy's going to be back. We do know that, but he hasn't played in a while, and he's more of a pass rush guy. You pair him with Everson Griffin. Now we're talking about being able to hold up against the run on the edges, as well as being able to rush the passer, because that's what Everson Griffin can do. He's been doing that his whole career. He's a 4-time Pro Bowler because of that.
Yes, and he's just going to make
well, we just got
$2 holla from my guy Ron the Don, and also another $2 holla from K Swagger 33. Says, "What's up, BGJ? My brother, what's up with you?" And K Swagger 33. He says, "Go Cowboys." Shout out to y'all. Hey, ho, with them $2 and $1.99 holla. Donation. Let's keep it cracking.
Gotcha, brother. Hey, we just kind of got a little bit of an update. Adam Sheffield, I'm guessing he means Schefter. Buddha said that they denied the Griffin rumors. I don't know how you can say they denied it, Buddha, because Everson Griffin himself,
right, he put on Instagram and said, "What's up, Cowboys?" And KD Drummond, who comes with real accurate information, says there is mutual interest. Mike Fisher, a lot of the guys are saying there's mutual interest. It's all about dollars and cents, y'all. Right. Cowboys are going to look into it because we see there's a glaring need at defensive end. Now, Robert Quinn is gone. Randy Gregory is still not back in the fold. Right now, you still only have Dorrance Armstrong Jr. and Joe Jackson in the fold at that right end, and a possible Tyrone Crawford. So you have to look at this.
So we're talking about maybe some, like Rue said here, conflicting reports on Griffin.
Law Nation with the $10 donation. Appreciate you, Big Law. I got you on the comeback next show, big dog. I appreciate you on that. My nook.
Shout out to Law. Shout out to Tyson West Coast in the building. Appreciate you stepping through. He says, "I don't mind it. Griffin will get 10 sacks playing opposite of D-Law.
I don't know about all that. We'll see about that. I don't want to jump out saying he's getting a double sack season because if Randy Gregory comes back, he's going to be sharing that load. But if you get a Griffin that gets you at least 8 sacks like he did at Minnesota, you're still feeling good about that if he was to come on the team.
So listen, guys, as we're doing this, news may break. I'm just letting you know the last 2 shows we did, news broke.
We're the good luck charm for the news.
Well, hopefully it's good news because our guy, one of the underground. So we got an underground Adam Schefter and an underground Ian Rappaport.
There you go. There you go. That was good. That was
Ian
good.
Rappaport just hit us up, Jamie, and he said that Pro Football Rumors, he sent me it. They basically said we're not going to sign Everson Griffin or Jadeveon Clowney. So I mean, it's not breaking news, but it's
it could be submarine news. It could be hurt news that's like, damn.
That music just I don't know how to. It's frustrating because you get excited and then this happens, right? Like,
Tyrone Church with the $2 holla. Hey-o. He said, "Now go get snacks." Hey ho, with another $2 holla. That's the one right there. You get a snacks. You get a snacks. You feel better because right now you got Gerald McCoy, right? He can play, he's the 3 tech, and he can slide and play the 1 because when he was over there playing with my guy who just left and signed, I believe, with Buffalo, Vernon Butler, they were swapping in and out, playing the 1 and the 3. So you got a versatile guy that in McCoy that can slide in and out for you. And then, as you said, if you could get a snacks, we're not talking about Griffin now because we can see that might be off the radar, but snacks is still in the play because nobody has signed him. Yes. If you get that big man right there that we have been clamoring for forever, and this is not just a guy that you're picking up and you're like, oh, he's a plugger like a Nick Hayden or the guys that were just serviceable. This is a bona fide all-pro, so bona fide Pro Bowl player, even though he's not like he was, he's still damn good. And he brings a whole different element to the Cowboys defense. You have him next to McCoy, then you have Antoine Woods. Antoine Woods is better with those 2 in the lineup. And then you still got D-Law and Randy Gregory when he comes back. And I guess I'm going to still have hope in Dorrance Armstrong Jr. because you know what? He was showing out in training camp. This will be his 3rd year. Hopefully we can see some because he did have some good pass rush ability off the edge. He missed a couple sacks due to overrunning the play, but I still have hope for Dorrance Armstrong Jr. as well.
Yeah, I think Dorrance Armstrong Jr. and Jalen Jelks and those guys, those are Jelks. All upside guys. But we needed an Griffin.
We need that vet
type guy, man. We do.
We need that vet because you saw what Quinn did when we got him. He gave the line stability along with D-Law. It gave you another presence where, guess what? Even though if you double teaming D-Law, you still got somebody off the edge. So, like I said, if they don't address it, they're going to address it in the draft. I think they're still going to draft somebody, but hopefully Randy Gregory, he says he's going to come back good and strong, and I have reason to believe him because the only thing that has kept him out of the lineup, we know, has been the marijuana thing. So if that is not affecting him, hopefully everything will run smooth and he can get back on the field and they can get productive. So do I. Don't feel bad. I'll be tearing them last names up too. He comes in and does something.
Check. I'm back. My bad, y'all. My bad.
Okay.
I said, so one of the things that I wanted to point out here was Michael G. And I was like, man, I always mess up these names, so I don't want to mess your name up. But right here, Michael G says, anyone think Cameron Wake could be good for just passing downs? He could be super cheap. And I was saying every time, yeah, Rude, there was a little slight issue, but we got it. Every time that I want to count out Cameron Wake, he comes back with 8-9 sacks or something like that. And I went back and looked at his resume. He's borderline a Hall of Famer. It's weird.
His stats are ridiculous because didn't he come from the Canadian League?
Yes, he came in late. That's why he
came in late
old.
Because he didn't come into like 27, 28, right? So he was a late bloomer. But when he came into the NFL from the Canadian League, he hit the ground running. It's not like he was struggling when he came in the league. He hit the ground running, and I think he's 37 now, I believe, like 36. He's 37 or 38, but he's almost like Dwight Freeney, one of those guys
Julius Peppers
that you don't have to have him a lot, but he can still make an impact. I don't know if the Cowboys will look at that because of his age, and you know how the Cowboys are with that. I don't think they're going to touch him. Just in my opinion, I think they're really going to probably bank on Randy Gregory. How the Cowboys. I know they shouldn't, but they are, because you know how much Jerry Jones and Steven has had that affinity for Randy Gregory. And now you have this rule now with the CBA that's going to make him effective to be able to play. They're going to put their marbles in on Randy Gregory, and you know it.
They shouldn't do that. I mean,
they shouldn't.
And my Cowboys family says Gregory will be fine, just needs time to get in rhythm. He will replace Quinn eventually, but in the meantime, we keep Crawford or get Griffin, which I would prefer. I mean, yes, we want Griffin. We would definitely cut Crawford, use that money to go get Griffin. You know, there's conflicting reports. Sounds like Griffin wants to be there, but then there's reports saying Cowboys won't do it, likely because of money. Okay? Likely because of money. So according to Todd Archer, my Cowboys family says Emmanuel Sanders would have to take a lot less money to come to Dallas. Now, you know, that was one of the guys I had, in here we were going to talk about was Emmanuel Sanders.
Yes.
Because, you know, he would be a very good get, but the reports are out there that he's looking to get that Randall Cobb stuff, the Randall Cobb money, and Dallas isn't really looking to do that, as we know, because we didn't bring Randall Cobb back.
I mean, I wouldn't do it either. I mean,
yeah, they can hear me now, bro. We're cool.
Okay, I like Randall Cobb. I do. Not Randall Cobb. I'm sorry. Emmanuel Sanders. I love Emmanuel Sanders. Always loved him. Loved him at Pittsburgh. That route running so crisp. I mean, he's almost like you see Amari Cooper, you see Emmanuel Sanders. Them two guys with that route running would be sick and disgusting and nasty. But he wants money. This is probably his last contract. He's not going to be able to play forever. He's 33 years old. You get what I'm saying? And he has an injury history. You get what I'm saying? So if he's coming back, I think he's narrowed it between San Francisco and Dallas, and he likes San Francisco and the way they were doing things over there. So the Cowboys, if they weren't going to pay a Randall Cobb a $7 to $9 million, I don't see why they would jump out there and do that for Emmanuel Sanders as well.
That's what it sounded like, and like MCF said, the draft. I think what's happening is they're looking at this draft as opposed to last year.
I mean, this draft is crazy deep.
Right, as opposed to last year, though, when last year Randall Cobb was a hot commodity because I don't think they looked at the draft and said, hey,
but look at the receivers that came out last year, Skywalker. It wasn't even last year's receiving core is not even touching this year.
That's what I'm saying. So they're probably like, let's replace Cole with a veteran guy because we don't like what we see in the draft in the rounds. We're going to target it. They're likely not going to target a guy early. I just can't see him spending a first-round pick on a receiver. I know we all are envisioning it with the Henry Ruggs and stuff, but I just can't see it happening right now because that's not what the Cowboys do. The last time they spent a first or second-round pick on a wide receiver was in 2010. And
don't talk about the trade with Amari Cooper. Talk about when they were actually picked, and that was
right. I'm talking about picked. And Amari Cooper is another reason. Amari Cooper just signed a 5-year, $100 million contract, and then you got Michael Gallup on the other side. I don't think they're taking a first-round wide receiver to be the third weapon, and really probably the fourth or fifth weapon in regards to the entirety of the offense. So I would love it, but like Josh said here, draft Duvernay in the third, or you can get somebody else.
You got plenty of receivers you can draft. There's so many names. It's crazy. Like I said, I told you I like your boy that came from Notre Dame. What's his name? I've been screaming his name. Big tall boy. Somebody throw his name. Claypool.
Claypool. I'm sorry.
Claypool. Devin Duvernay. I told you KJ Hill. I mean,
there's a bunch of them.
There's so many names. You actually have to pull up the list. There's so many daggone names, and you're going still even in the fourth round. I bet you could get somebody good. Even in a fourth round pick, I bet you could get somebody good. So that's why the Cowboys don't have to reach. And just I would tend to agree with you because if you had Amari Cooper and he wasn't going to come back, then yes, then you probably would have signed a Cobb, and then you would have probably elevated to a Gallup to the number one, and then you probably would have went first round with the receiver. Not guaranteed, but that would have been a high priority. But now you have one of your dogs back in the fold. You have a Michael Gallup who you're going to probably keep and pay as well, so you don't have to jump out there. It probably would be tantalizing if one of those speed guys were out there at 17. But you still, when we're going to talk about Ha Dix, he's still not the answer at safety. That's why you only got him as a one-year deal. You still have to look at that safety position, and you still have to look at defensive tackle if you have a Kinlaw there in that 17th pick still hanging around.
Pretty much touched on all the guys that we currently have. So really, let's just kind of get right into that here in a quick second. We have signed some guys Some guys are here.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe not the big names, but let's dive into some of the free agents we brought in. I did love I know people are going to say, you love the HaHa signing? Listen, if you looked at my videos and you've seen some of the value safeties that I talked about, HaHa was one of them. And it's not because I think he's a star. It's because they're not sitting on their hands, relying on Jeff Heath, right? What's his name? My goodness, Kayvon Frazier's to man the position. They're going out and getting a proven veteran, in my opinion, a proven veteran that has had success in this league. And we know he's not a Pro Bowler anymore or anything like that, but let's not act like he's bad. So give your take on HaHa Clinton-Dix. I know that's the newest signing, so let's kind of talk about him first.
First, I'm going to answer this question from Joshua. Is it Magaha? If I messed it up, sorry. He says, does this beginning because we got Dix? Does that stop us from getting a dope it? No, not at all. Because he's not a player that you are going to keep a long term. That's why they only signed him to a 1-year deal. So I'm sorry, I was looking at this new news. Somebody shot me some news. I was making sure it wasn't any breaking news. But as far as a HaHa Dix thing, I think more of it is this. He was successful with Mike McCarthy. That's when he had some of his best years with Mike McCarthy. I don't think he was as good in Washington. I thought the Cowboys probably could have looked at him before he went to Washington and Chicago. The thing I just don't like about Dix is he does not tackle. He is allergic to tackling. He does not want to do it. No, that's plenty of times.
He's not a great tackler, but he has high tackling numbers.
Go look at his tape. He does not want to tackle. If you go look at his plays, he might be an ugly tackler. Mm-hmm. He does not tackle. Look at the tape. When somebody breaks through, a running back runs through, I saw a game where Saquon Barkley broke through the line, came right at him, and you know what he does? And he does this consistently. A man will be coming right at him. He breaks down, and then he does a 360 and lets the man run out. He does a 360, and then it tries. Yes, he does an ole, and then tries to run them down. No, you can't do that at the safety position.
You can't do that in the box.
Well, that's what I'm saying. You can't do that, period. And he's done that numerous times. He takes ugly angles. He tackles funny, and he's allergic to
about that. Here's why. Because I need him.
You should be worried about that.
About that. Here's
Heath
why.
is a better tackler than him. You're gonna say he's that much of a better tackler than him. Are you gonna say he's that much of an upgrade over Jeff Heath? And I'm not hating.
Guess what he's better at than Jeff Heath? Coverage.
He can cover. Yeah, he can cover.
Exactly.
What were we having a problem with last year on defense? Tackling.
We have a problem with getting turnovers, and he has 8 interceptions.
We also had a problem with tackling.
We
also had a problem with tackling.
Sure, but you're not going to get a perfect safety in this market.
No, you're not asking for a perfect safety. The reason why you got Dix was because he played with Mike McCarthy, and that's why he got him. He was more of a name player than Jeff Heath. If you look at his PFF, he's rated like 79, but Jeff Heath was not terrible, especially this last year.
He wasn't terrible last year. He's been terrible before that. You talk about tackling. Here's the funny thing about Jeff Heath. Okay, he improved last year. Before that, he was one of the worst tackling safeties in the entire NFL. He ranked second to last in 2018.
I'm not jumping here and being the Jeff Heath fan, but let's not sit there and say, HaHa Dix is just extraordinarily a huge, giant upgrade over Jeff Heath.
Did those words come to my mouth?
It was sounding close.
It's not. Here's my thing. I wish I would have pulled it up here, guys. What's his name? Chill. They call him Chill. Clarence Hill Jr., when it happened, stated that the guys in Valley Ranch, the guys in Dallas said he will be playing free safety. That's why I'm not sitting here, getting all worried, because he's going to be playing back there in the center field. Now, what I'm worried about is what we're going to do with Xavier Woods. The other night, I said move him over to strong safety, and that's what a lot of other people on Twitter were saying in regards to being in Dallas. And because I believe that the safety positions nowadays are interchangeable. And I don't think HaHa Clinton-Dix should be in the box because he can't.
No, not because
he's not a good tackler.
Because he's not a good tackler. Exactly. Hell no, you want him he was playing a lot of single high over there at Chicago. He played a lot of single high over there. And his coverage ability is still good. His range is still good.
He had a career year in coverage, by the way.
As I said before, he is a bad tackler. He takes bad angles, and that will show in games. So hopefully, since he played under McCarthy, and had his good years under him, and that's why McCarthy probably brought him over too, because they're familiar, and maybe he can bring out that goodness out of him again. I like the range. Just like you were saying, Jeff Heath and Xavier Woods were interchangeable anyway. We didn't know who the strong and the free was between them two because they were changing all the damn time. So now maybe you can put solely at Xavier Woods at the strong and see what happens.
Hi, son.
Now, I was listening to on Twitter, Jeff Kavanaugh, who's been on the show a few times. He did miss something that was big to me when he was talking about this be the perfect time to extend Xavier Woods, just kind of like they did Jalen Smith.
No.
I'm just saying it could be a slept-on signing because he's the last year in his deal, and if they see something that they like, this will be the best time to get him because it'll be cheap.
I'm a fan of Xavier Woods, but I'm not a fan enough to extend him right now. I need you to go out and show it. Go out and prove it to me that you're not, because he's a stagnant player right now. Remember, I used that word the other night talking about Trey Waynes, how he got all that money.
Mm-hmm.
Brandon Cooks released. Wow.
Would you look at Brandon Cooks?
It depends on the money, but I highly doubt it, bro. I highly doubt it because he was getting like what, $14 million or something.
Yeah, but he was overpaid them contracts.
He was.
He ain't did jack poo.
Think he going 1 under 7? I can't see it.
He probably not, but
I'm sorry, my attention.
What people we still are people gonna keep on fooling with Brandon Cooks? I mean, he had the hype
Brandon
and
Cooks
it didn't
good.
work.
No, he's good.
He's good. He's okay.
Hold on.
What is Brandon Cooks doing, dog?
Brandon Cooks got like 4 straight 1,000-yard receiving seasons. What are you talking about?
Over at New Orleans?
New Orleans and the Rams last year he was hurt a lot, but before that he had like 4 straight. Man, listen, Brandon Cooks is a beast. He's just a little dude, but other than that, he's a really good wide receiver.
He's a beast. He's good, but he ain't no beast to me. That's your opinion. That's mine. Okay.
Listen.
Okay, I don't like Cooks like that. He's okay.
Why?
He got speed. He ain't nobody like who Brandon Cooks. He got the damn speed.
So he ain't nobody to game plan against.
That speed.
Yeah, I mean, and he
ain't
can
game
catch.
playing with nothing else. No damn Brandon Cooks.
Oh lordy, but we got off track. We were talking about the safety position, and HaHa Clinton-Dix. When I say I love the signing, I don't love it in the sense I think this guy is going to be a Pro Bowler. I love it because we address the position, and it's the type of guy, like I said in my videos, it's a safety that's not going to stop you from drafting a safety. You know what I mean? You still can go get one in the first or second round. Hell, if another one becomes available because of cuts, you can still sign one.
Right.
I think this is a wake-up call to Xavier Woods. I'm going to be honest with you. I think maybe some of those coaches looked at that film and said, I'm not feeling it right now.
Well, what we talk about the last time he was talking about Xavier Woods when he was talking about him playing strong safety? I said, what does he do? He misses a lot of tackles. I said his problem was he likes to try to lay the boom on these guys and doesn't wrap up. And he's got to change that, and those guys are going to have to get that together for him because that was his biggest issue in college. It showed in the pros, and it showed last year. So he's definitely going to have to get that together because if those two are going to be on the field together, HaHa Dix is going to be the free safety.
Yeah, I hope so. In my opinion, he's a better playmaker at free safety. We also signed a cornerback. Speaking of defensive backfield,
I ain't even get to check out look at the film on
Maurice. I've been butchering this since you got signed. Is it
just give him the last
Kennedy? Maurice. I can't pronounce it, man. Maurice Kennedy. He's played for 2 different teams, the Ravens and the Jets. I have looked a little bit at him, and he's not a bad player. I was surprised. I went back. I wanted to look at the stats. Then I wanted to try to look at film, and Law had a nice breakdown, I believe, of him as well. And he's one of those signings. I think that remember how they said Mike McCarthy was in the lab doing the PFF stuff. Well, he was ranked as a 20th ranked cornerback overall per PFF. We know this is not gospel, okay? But when you go watch him, it kind of matches in the sense of, okay, he's got some skill. And my man Stevie had a great comparison. He called Maurice, I call him Mo Can because I don't know how to pronounce his last name. Mo Can. He called him the Devin Smith of cornerbacks because he hasn't played
injured.
Much.
Yeah, he's been injured. I think he's had 3 years, almost 3 straight years, where he's had major injuries that have kept him off the field, and that's why people haven't really.
Year.
Well, not last year. I'm saying those prior years before, though. He's been injured almost every year, and that's why you haven't really got to get a good beat on him because he's been off the field.
Right.
So, hey, I haven't got to get a chance to really look at him, but I know he's 6'1", correct, and has some good length. And I know that's always good when you're playing the cornerback position, especially nowadays. Receivers are a lot bigger. So it'll be interesting to see. The good thing is a low risk, low reward, high reward, because you didn't spend any kind of money to get him. So, hey, if he balls out and does anything good, you're feeling great about it because you didn't spend any kind of money. But yet they're still going to go look at a cornerback in the draft. And you could still look in free agency if something were to still happen. You could still do it because he's not the guy that you're saying, ooh, he's coming in and going to be a starter.
Yeah,
you get what I'm saying?
Yeah, this is not a replacement for Byron Jones, but this is, like you said, an upside signing. He was targeted 41 times per PFF, 26 receptions, 244. Only gave up a 69 passer rating, 4 pass breakups and a touchdown. An interception. Excuse me. So he put the numbers match the tape, but he just wasn't the guy. And he played under 2 really good defensive coordinators too. We got to think about that. Greg Williams and the Ravens coordinator. So I think he's adverse to different schemes and good coaching.
And both of those are aggressive defensive coordinators too. So that'll help as well coming over here with that.
Right. I'm actually excited to see this. I know somebody brought up Chris Westry. No more Donovan Wilson. He was gone. He's gone.
I want to see what Westry looks like.
Right. I
really want to see that because that's a 6'4". He's a legit 6'4", almost 6'5". He's running a 4.3. He's all legs. I saw him at camp. He's all legs, and he's super skinny. So you could see obviously why they wanted to get him built up and get his body together. You could see some coverage skills. One of the big things with him, he didn't like to tackle either. A lot of these cornerbacks don't nowadays, but You're going to have to. So I definitely want to keep an eye on him because if you could get him that was a diamond in the rough type thing, that would be
A couple comments in there, interesting comments. King Cowboy said, how about signing safety strong safety Von Bell to offset Dix and Woods? That's something I could see happening.
I like Von Bell, and he's still young.
Yeah, and he's a prototypical strong.
Mm-hmm.
He's one of those
he will hit you.
I don't know what his missed tackle percentage is. I haven't looked that up, but he will hit you, though. He is a strong safety.
He's strong safety in every sense of the word.
Yes. Another person talked about Donovan Wilson. He's another guy who could potentially overtake one of those guys. I really do think Xavier Woods is on the hot seat here. I don't think they signed Clinton Dix to ride the bench. I think he's going to play.
Well, I think the reason why he's going to play, I don't think it's going to be the situation where we had George Iocca, who was on the show, a few weeks ago. I don't think it's going to be the situation with that because even George was talking about it was already predestined that they were going to have Jeff Heath as the man. So he felt like maybe he really didn't even have a chance because they already had what they were going to do. They brought him in more so maybe because of the name and things of that nature. But now you have a Ha Dix who has who's had a previous relationship with the current coach. Yeah. That is going to help him because they know each other, that he's had good years. So I don't think he's going to come in and sit the bench too. I think he's going to come in and try to be the starter. And if Donovan Wilson comes in and tears it up, I believe, just like you said, that there is no loyalty to this new staff. We've seen them ship out quite a few players from free agency. We lost like 5-6 guys already that were contributors on the team, and they didn't have the loyalty to them. So if Donovan Wilson comes in and he was showing like he was in the preseason, who knows? Because Wilson's got some good size. He's 6 foot, about 212 pounds. He's bigger than Xavier Woods. So, and he's come from a bigger school, and Will McClay likes those Power 5 schools more than the smaller schools, especially at the safety position.
That's probably why he went in the 6th round.
You feel me? So you'll see what happens with that. Definitely is going to be competition, and that's what we want anyway, right? You don't want to come in feeling like these guys always have their spots. You create competition with these drafted and undrafted players and free agents.
Yeah, my man Will also said we should look to kick the tires on Clay Matthews. Initially, I'm like, I don't know about that because we need a right defensive end, but then I remembered we might be playing a multiple defense. And he's played under Mike McGovern.
And he had 8 sacks last year.
He could be a situational rusher.
Situational pass rusher, and that's what he's good at now. You just keep him off the edge, and they'll find players. And remember, the Cowboys said, we're going to be multiple as far as our sets on the defensive front.
That made me think about it, yeah.
So you can squeeze them in. And what also they said, we want players, and we want playmakers, and we want guys who can get after the ball. So if you can fit that mold in that bill, then you're going to get a look from this defense as far as the defensive coordinators.
Yeah. Last but not least was the big fish we got, Gerald McCoy. This news broke when we were actually on air. So
not to cut you off right quick, Skywalker.
Yeah,
Andrew Rodriguez asked how much the Cowboys money have. We have $24 million.
24?
Yeah, I just looked right now. It's 24 million right now. I think it may have dropped. I think
went
it was
down.
17.
I looked at
to,
17.
17 to 24, but I just checked. It was 24 showing me could. So
Yeah,
between those two numbers.
Put it this way. We got enough to make something happen. These
Right.
mother efforts is just being real cheap.
Mm-hmm.
In fact,
go ahead about Gerald.
These mother is being mad cheap.
I mean, but you know what? Just like you said in our show when we did the late night hype show, which you must be checking out, y'all.
Oh my goodness.
When you talked about it, you said, I don't know why we're surprised because Stephen Jones said he was going to do this a long time ago. So we should never jump up and down like we're going to get big name free agents.
Because we don't.
They're not going to spend money. They're never going to do it. Not as long as Stephen Jones is running it. And the Jones ain't never going to go nowhere. They're not selling the Cowboys to anybody else.
Oh, timeout. Shout out to Joe Trenchina.
Jan Cecchino.
He said, what's up, Cowboys Nation? Watching from Italy. I have to say, man, I appreciate you watching right now with all that's going on over there. I hope you and
what's
your
going
family
on over there
is safe.
Yeah, definitely, Joe. Joe's been there forever. He's been with Silver and Blue Nation. He reps it through all the Cowboys network. So it's good to hear from you, Joe Tranchino. He's always on Facebook.
Yeah, appreciate you, man. That means a lot going on over there, and you checking us out right now. We're trying to get you through that time as best we can. Keep you up to date with the Cowboys.
Mm-hmm. Donation. That's the
Got you. Stevie said we can easily free up another $10 million. Yep. And Will said they need to get the Dack deal done so they can get that tag off the books. I don't really think that's holding anything up. I don't.
Well, it does free up more money.
It will, but I think any contract they're doing, they understand that the Dack deal eventually gets done will free up money. So I think we'll be fine. All those expensive free agents are gone. We're not going after Clowney. We're not probably going after Everson Griffin. So we're going to be able to sign those tier 2, 3 guys without a problem.
I think they can get a good ass deal on Snacks. I just wonder why they don't touch him. I remember when he sat around forever last year before he got with Detroit. He sat around forever, and I was wondering like, why is nobody picking him up? Is he done? Like, he's not done. He goes over to Detroit and is very productive. Now he's released and he's sitting around again. That's crazy to me.
I just think it's one of those cases where he's a run-stopping defensive tackle, and he's 30, 31 years old. So, they're not going to go after him in the first round of free agents.
Linval Joseph and him are the same people.
Yeah, Linval Joseph took the second day to get signed. Actually, he's younger. Linval's a little
No, they're both 31.
Nah, I don't think he's 31.
Yes, they are.
He's 31?
Yes, Linval Joseph is 31.
Old.
Exactly. They're both the same age.
Well, Linval Joseph might have had a better year. Who knows? All it takes is one team. Shout out to Will. He said, love the theme and the setup. Thank you very much.
Appreciate you, Will.
Angel says, any interest in Jamal Charles? Yeah, I'm interested. I don't think they're interested.
Or
Jamal Adams.
I was about to say Jamal Charles. What the hell?
He's retired.
Nobody interested in him. Hell yeah. Definitely all in on Jamal Adams because he hasn't signed with the Jets yet. He's still open, so there's always a chance. And I told you, I threw it out there, and I know you're gonna be like, man, dog, don't bring that up. But
what
I said before Tyron Smith goes all the way old, you get rid of him for $8 million.
Oh no, this is different, man. We talked about this how many times? This year's a whole different story. You can cut not Tyron Smith. I thought you were talking about Crawford. You talking about Tyron Smith.
I'm just saying.
Hey, listen.
Before his downside comes.
Get your damn act together.
Whatever, dog. Hey. Whatever.
Come on, man.
I keep all options open.
I don't like your attitude.
I don't like that shit.
Hey, he's 29. Always
29.
hurt.
You act like he's
50. Yeah, he's an old 29 though.
Oh goodness.
You get something for him.
There was another one in here I had. Mathis. Mathis Fender. I hate to break it to you, brother. He says, "Do you think the boys get a call from Houston about Hopkins?" I don't know if you've been living under a rock,
come on, dog.
Man, but he is with the Cardinals now.
Yeah. Hey ho, we got a $2 holla from Anthony Etheridge. Juwan James with the $5 holla. Dallas Cowboy for life. Hey ho.
Appreciate you guys.
Donation.
Appreciate you, Juwan and Anthony Etheridge. Thank you very much.
Appreciate you. Love you, Juwan.
Yeah.
Appreciate you, Anthony.
Did we get into Gerald? Yeah. So Gerald McCoy.
No, we didn't. I cut you off.
I mean, Gerald McCoy, do you really have to say anything? Here's why I love the signing of Gerald McCoy, because he was mostly a pass rushing guy that could play the run. But as he's gotten older, he's one of those heady veterans. If you go watch the tape, he's actually been able to use his hands a lot better now that his athleticism isn't what it used to be. and he can anchor the line. He can move down that line and still knife in the backfield when he needs to. But he is excellent with his hands, and his ability to adapt as he's gotten older to be a very good run defender is huge because he's a 3-tech. He can still get to the Q, right?
And he can still slide into one when you need him.
Right, but if you can get that snacks, oh my goodness, you're talking about two dominant. I don't say dominant, but because snacks is dominant, but two really, really good run defenders and a guy who can get to the back in the backfield and rush the passer next to Snacks Harrison. Oh, come on.
I mean, and look at the defense.
Young Wilson.
Hey, young Wilson coming with the $9.99. Holla, aloha, BGJ. Keep safe, bro. Need more defense tackle safeties and a fast wide receiver.
That's a Uso right there.
Yeah, young Wilson. I love that name.
Angel said, "Let's go get Whitney Merciless." Is he
linebacker?
Like the outside linebacker, but did he get cut or something? Didn't he just get extended?
I don't know. Is he still with the Texans?
Yeah. I thought unless he got extended. I don't know.
I don't know. Dallas ain't gonna do it. They're
right.
Well, I don't know. They're still looking for linebackers right now. They said they are still scouring. They said they are still looking for free agent linebackers for the cheap. That's what they said.
That's so wild that you said that because this is a great segue. Dallas Cowboys did sign some of their own. You know, let's talk about some of those guys.
Let's talk about it.
That the Cowboys did sign. Anthony Brown, he got re-signed to a 3-year deal. Joe Looney,
the new Orlando Scandrick,
1-year deal. Joe Thomas, and then Kai Forbath. Now let's talk about Anthony Brown, like you said. I thought at beginning of the free agency, I thought he would be re-signed pretty quickly. And then as it didn't get signed, I'm like, okay, we're going to replace him. We signed that Mo Can guy, and I'm like, okay, that could be our replacement. And then boom, like 2 hours later, they signed Anthony Brown to a 3-year deal.
Right.
How are we feeling about that? Is that our primary slot guy? Because
I would say so. If you're signing him for a 3-year, $15 million deal, making $5 million per, he better be starting. He better be your starting slot guy. He's been in the program. Look, go watch the tape. We know Anthony Brown. He has good speed. But we also got to look at when we talked about Chris Richard, how he had the technique of not turning around, right? So what we were frustrated with Anthony Brown and Cheeto and a lot of these guys that wouldn't turn their heads, right? So maybe with the new staff that they teach that differently. I don't think Anthony Brown is a bum. I think he's a pretty decent corner, especially for where they drafted him.
They hate him.
Cowboys Nation hate him. I don't know why, because a lot of them just don't watch the tape. What they see is they see him get burnt a few times and they say he's trash, without actually going watch game to game, watching play to play, and seeing him play to play. He's not a trash cornerback. He's not. I think he's a decent, good cornerback. I think he's a good third. If you're looking at a third corner, I think that's a good third corner. $5 million. Oh, that's kind of deep for a third corner. $5 million. But as I said, he is the new Orlando Scandrick. He reminded me, and I told people this before he got signed, he's going to remind me of Orlando Scandrick, because you see Scandrick got 3 contracts out of the Dallas Cowboys. I can see Anthony Brown being that guy. Continue to get contract after contract. You don't talk about him, but he still continues to get signed. He seems like he's going to be that guy to me.
I think, well, shout out to our Uso again, young Wilson.
Another $2. $2, holla.
So, Mathis, I got to disagree with you. He was not terrible his first couple of years. Actually, his first year, he was excellent.
He was good. He was excellent. We were hyped about him after his first year.
Here's the thing. Here's the thing about AB, though. He's been inconsistent. That's why I think he frustrates Cowboys fans. His first year, 2016, he was an excellent slot corner. His second year, they moved him around a little bit, and he was not that good. In fact, he had a pretty down year. 2018, he actually was a good slot corner again. 2019, again, another kind of inconsistent year.
Uneven, yeah,
so
and then gets hurt.
I've said it before. I think Anthony Brown is a very great value if he's your fourth corner. If he's your third corner, he's a solid value, but he should be your slot. Okay? Shout out to Tyrone Church, $2 donation.
Donation.
He says,
I'll call on Tyrone.
Church is in session. He said, I think Anthony Brown is the best slot. Oh, whoa. Is the best slot in the league. Woo.
Whoa.
I
don't know. That's false.
That's a big one there, buddy.
No, that's not.
Mathis, he did not get burnt regularly in his first year. I'm trying to tell you.
No, he did not. Go watch the tape, man. That's
he was a good slot corner.
watched him his first year, everybody was like, yes, he was our starter.
Or
Everybody was
2018.
pushing him to be our starter the next year after his first year.
And then when they tried him out on the outside, that's when
he
they
was
showed
like,
his,
okay,
his liability.
no, go back, take your butt back in that slot.
Right. So I think Anthony Brown at that value, 3 years, I think what you get is you get some continuity. You get some insurance. A guy who's started over, 30-something games in the league. He has like 4 interceptions in his career, and he is still, I think, a serviceable slot cornerback.
He is. I think he's a good third corner.
The issue is, and this is where I kind of want to segue a little bit to, is that Jordan Lewis was supposed to be our slot cornerback. But you know what kind of vibes I'm getting? I'm getting Jordan Lewis boundary cornerback vibes right now.
Jordan Lewis should have been starting outside corner. He was doing his first year. He's an outside corner. The only reason why they put Jordan Lewis in the slot is because of his size. He is a starting outside corner. I think
that's what's happening here.
I've said that from day one about him. If you go watch him at Michigan, he is a starting corner. He is not the slot guy. People were pushing him in the slot because Chris Richard came over here
Young Wilson.
and said,
I'm sorry to cut you off, but Young
Go
Wilson
ahead.
said Anthony Brown doesn't have that catch-up speed. Anthony Brown's
What?
a 4.35
he's a
guy.
4.3 guy, and
He's
shows
one
it.
of the fastest defensive backs on the field.
Even when he gets beat, the catch-up speed is what helps him.
Right.
The
The problem with AB is ball. He doesn't have any ball awareness.
He doesn't have ball awareness, and he has to keep things in front of him. He doesn't have the ball awareness. That's what his problem is.
Right.
But if you're talking about what we were talking about, Jordan Lewis is an outside corner. As I said before, that was Chris Richard putting him in the slot because he wanted the tall corners. That's what he was doing. But Jordan Lewis is a starting right corner. I mean, when he was out there his rookie year, he was starting, and he had a damn good, pretty good rookie year. You know what I'm saying? And we were excited about that. So I think that's what it should.
Church, another donation.
$2 holla.
He says, Cheeto get replaced by a drafted cornerback. That's very possible.
I don't know.
Very possible.
People are giving up on Cheeto. I don't think Cheeto is trash. I think he needs to be more physical with the size. But let's not play like Cheeto is trash.
You know where we want to see him.
Safety.
Ain't gonna happen. I don't think it's gonna happen. But the reason why I'm getting these vibes is because you signed Anthony Brown to 3. If it was a 1-year deal, okay, you signed him to a 3-year deal, and you didn't go get like a Chris Harris, who was not expensive. You didn't go try to go get a Desmond Trufant, who didn't look like he got that much. So I think we're going to roll with Cheeto, who had upside at one point. He's kind of he's stagnant, one of those players that is stagnant. And then you got Jordan Lewis, who's our playmaker. And as you said, maybe, just maybe, Mike McCarthy's looking at him like, man, put him on the outside. So you got your outside corners. Cheeto, J. Lou. That's maybe what they're looking at it as. And now you have Anthony Brown to play the slot. And you go get a Maurice, a Mo Can. I cannot pronounce his last name. If one of y'all can go in there and say something. But you go get a Mo Can, and then you say, all right, we have insurance at the cornerback position to where we go into the draft, we do not have to force our hand. Similar situation to going out and getting McCoy. Similar situation to going out and getting Clinton Dix. You don't have to force yourself in that first or second round. So, I look at it as a quality signing for Anthony Brown because he wasn't expensive.
Well, he was. I mean, here's the thing. He was making, an average of $5 million a year. He's making more than Darqueze Dennard, and I liked him.
But is that whole 15 guaranteed too? Remember, we got to think about that.
No, it's none of it's guaranteed actually.
Well, there you go. So you're talking about
that's why.
probably
So
incentives.
that's why it's a great
That's an
deal.
amazing value. I didn't know that.
So that's why it's even a better deal because none of that money is guaranteed.
That's a great deal.
That's a great deal. So now you back off of it and say that's even better deal for the Cowboys because none of that money is guaranteed. You cut him at any time, it ain't killing you.
Let's see what you guys are saying here in the chat. It says Cowboys, Carlitos. What's up, Carlitos? He said Cowboys need to draft 2 corners and a safety in the first 3 rounds. I don't know if we're going to draft 2.
Hell no.
Yeah, I don't think 2.
They'll draft no first corners and safety in the first 3 rounds. No way.
Law Nation says, do we still have Josh Jones on the team? No, we don't. We don't have Josh Jones. And it's your boy D. White says Shelby Harris is still out there. He is.
Yeah, Shelby Harris.
Is Shelby a big boy though? Or is he a 3-tech? Regardless, he's a good player, but I don't know if he's a 1. I really want to get me.
We need a 1. We need a solid 1 because the only true 1 we have is Antoine Woods.
And we you know how
and he's
we feel
undersized.
About him.
He's undersized and he's a backup.
I think Woods is a rotation guy.
Yeah, he's a rotation.
I really do.
He's better when he's coming off the bench. They need a solid big guy. And even in the draft, I mean, Kinlaw's not a true 1. He's a 3. Kinlaw's more of a 3
I
than
know
a
everybody
1.
keeps throwing Kinlaw out there. I mean,
He's not a 1.
I'm
He's
not
more of a
saying
3.
McCoy stops you from Kinlaw, but I don't even know Kinlaw going to be there at 17. I just don't.
We'll look at that. That knee is really going to be the thing with him. But, I told you when I was at the combine, Matabike from Texas A&M, remember I was screaming his name up and down. He was one of the most impressive defensive tackles at the defensive tackle position.
If you can get Matabike in the second round.
And that's what I'm talking about. That's the guy that's the game's team. I don't even know if he might last that long because his production, his numbers, and that combine, I'm telling you, he was fire at that combine, dog. So if you don't get those two, you can still get a defensive tackle, but you must hit, to me, a defensive tackle in those first 3 rounds.
Larry says, do we re-sign Cheetah Bay and J. Lou next year? I think it all depends on this year.
This is the year that they got to show.
This is why I don't think we should extend anybody.
Yeah, all those guys are in contract years, so they're going to Cowboys. You know how the Cowboys are. Let's wait and see. Prove us again.
Yep, absolutely. Another guy we got, one of my favorite players on the entire team, is Jumbo Joe Looney.
Everybody loves Joe.
Man, talk about, he's just one of those glue guys. You know how like in the NBA, you got one of those glue players, those Robert
who may
Horrys,
never play. Yeah, who may never play.
Yeah, those Jamal Mashburns, those, you know what I'm saying? Those guys who just kind of glue a team together. I feel like that's Joe because Joe just does whatever he's told to do, and he does it pretty damn well. I'm not saying he's a starter in the sense of, I'm going to sign him to this big, long contract. But if you need him to go play center, he can go play center. You need him to go play left or right guard, he can go play left or right guard. And he does it adequately.
I totally agree with you. I'm going to finish that statement, but Carlito says Leaky Futu. Yes, that would be a great addition in the late rounds.
The big boy.
From Utah. And he lost a little bit of weight. So that was, they always do good in the NFL. They always do good, and they last long. But to go bounce off to Joe Looney, yes, Looney is a glue guy. He's that guy that keeps the team loose. He's that guy. He's that locker room guy. Every team needs one of those locker room kind of clowns that keeps the team light, keeps everybody, everybody might be serious and then he cracks a stupid ass joke. You know what I'm saying? And that's what keeps everybody. Everybody might be intense and then he cracks a joke to get everybody unsettled. That's what I love about Looney, and he's a pretty decent player, especially what you're signing him for. You know what I'm saying? And when he's come in, we saw what he did when Travis Frederick went out, how he manned that center position. He did a damn good job. And he's versatile. You can play center. He can play guard. So he's just one of those glue guys. Great pickup, great value, one of the better pickups that they brought back from the returning free agents, along with them signing. Of course, Blake Jarwin was a big signing, but them getting Joe Thomas, too, was something good to me for as well.
What I find interesting about the Joe Looney signing is
Joe Thomas is 28.
Yeah, Joe Thomas is not a old guy, which is crazy.
28. Mm-hmm.
We'll get to Joe. Trust me, guys.
Yeah, we'll get to him.
We'll get to Joe. Joe Thomas. We're talking about Joe Looney right now.
Right.
Joe Looney. What I love and find interesting about the signing is that, remember, I think he's being signed to be the backup center. Here's why. We still got Connor McGovern in the fold here that's going to compete with Connor Williams. And whoever wins out of that will determine, in my opinion, what we do at swing tackle. Because right now we lost Cam Fleming, right?
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Brandon Knight, everyone's talking about, which
I like Brandon Knight.
A lot of people do. And I liked how he played the Jets, which was weird because somebody said he played bad. I thought he held up well. I thought he held up well in that game.
Mm-hmm.
But I think
actually played good in that Minnesota game too.
Yeah, I think Connor Williams could probably be better as a swing tackle.
He is, but he was a tackle in college.
Exactly, a pretty good one.
He was a left tackle.
A pretty damn good one. And
that's why I said you could still look at Tyron Smith as a trade capital.
No,
I'm not saying he's that good. I'm just saying.
Get your damn act together.
All right, man. Well, whatever, dog. I'm gonna always keep all options open.
Okay.
That's what you have to do as a GM.
Will Spence said Williams is going to be the swing tackle. So, see, if that happens.
We don't know that. We don't know that.
But if
because
that happens,
we don't know that.
That means Connor McGovern won the job.
But they're going to want him to win the job, though.
Right.
They want Connor McGovern to win that guard job. Yes, they do. I think they do. They drafted him in that third round, and they had high hopes for him.
But
I believe he was
in the second round.
Yeah, but they drafted him, but they overdrafted him, just like when they did when they got Leo Collins. How it started when they had Ron Leary and they drafted when they got Leo Collins in that draft as a free agent. Leary was the better player, but they got Collins because they wanted to push Collins in that spot. He was the man. So what?
Different staff, though. So
okay,
I don't know.
I understand that, but what I'm saying is they still drafted Connor McGovern, and I believe
I'll
Connor McGovern is the better of the players at the guard position.
Here you go. I was just about to say, I'll say this. I think McGovern is just going to win it.
Because he's a guard. He's a natural guard. He's a natural mauler. You saw him at Penn State. He was a mauler.
That's what I'm saying. Played in the Big 10, not the
Big
12
Big
passing
10
league. He played in the mauling
That's
league.
mauler. That's muddy. That's grimy. That's dirty.
He was going to push Connor Williams last year.
Yeah.
Now he has a year off as a redshirt to get strong. And
he was already strong.
6'5", 330, I think he was.
And he was already strong.
He was young man strong. Now he about to be grown man strong. So I think Connor McGovern can win the spot outright, which is maybe why we see them not bring back a Cam Fleming, which I didn't want to do that anyway. I thought he regressed last year.
And they still have Mitch Hyde, who they like.
Hyatt, that big dude, like 6
foot, from Clemson,
6'9" or something.
No, he's from that. Hyatt came from Clemson when he won the national championship, but he really didn't have the feed and didn't have the weight. But some couple teams I think tried to poach him toward the end of the year, and they activated him on the squad. So that tells you, and they paid him some money on that practice.
I'm thinking of Dan Skipper. That's all, the 6'9".
Yeah. They got rid of him. He was like, he
went to Detroit. He played a little bit for Detroit. But yeah, I think McGovern has a very high chance of winning that job, and I think bringing back Joe Looney gives confidence to the team that, hey, Joe's our backup center. We'll let y'all fight it up for the left guard, and then whoever loses here will have a swing tackle. Because honestly, let's just remember, McGovern played up and down the line. So if you didn't know that, he did. And then Kai Forbath. We signed Kai to a 1-year deal. He was 11 for 11 last year, 10 for 10 with the Cowboys. I love seeing the statistic going around on Twitter about how the Cowboys kicker Brett Maher missed 10 field goals, which is roughly
and he made a 10.
30 points that we lost. And we lost how many games? By 3 points, 2 points, 1 point. 30 points.
We drive all the way down the field, and he missed an easy one.
That's a whole lot of points to miss. And Kai was just money. And the funny thing about Kai Forbath is I don't think y'all realize this. He's the 9th most accurate kicker of all time.
Oh, well.
That's astonishing to me. Kickers, they float around the league.
Kickers, but you can get a kicker do that for 3 years in a row. All of a sudden you're hearing he's all-time leading kicker ever. It'd be taking him just 3 years to be seeming like.
But he's been in the league longer than that. And he's been successful everywhere he's went. The thing about it is, I think.
He's a kicker.
Yeah, he's a kid. I know he's a kid. What are you saying?
I know. I'm just saying it.
I'm saying they brought him back, and I think it was a good reason too, because he's been successful his entire career. He was successful with the Cowboys, and I think that continuity with your specialist is important. I don't think anybody really liked Brett Maher on the damn team.
Nobody did. The only thing that got anything hyped about Brett Maher because Dan Bailey was missing long field goals, and then once he kicked a 56-yarder or 60-yarder, everybody got a hard on for him. But he was never ever good, and he was one of those guys like Tony Romo in the fact of
what's up, Stu?
You knew he was gonna miss one. You knew Romo was gonna throw an interception. Just get it the hell out the way.
Yeah,
you knew he was gonna miss one. Just hurry up and miss it early.
Yeah, and last but not least, the other Joe Thomas was signed, and he completes the quadruple process that I talked about a month ago. I said these 4 guys we got to bring back, and the 4 guys were Kai, Joe Looney, Joe Thomas, and Anthony Brown. I just thought you had to bring these depth guys back. Everyone gets mad when we don't sign a big name, but you don't win football games with 21 players, 22 players.
Depth.
Yeah, you have to have some depth.
People getting hurt.
And Joe, I really hope now that we don't have Jason Garrett anymore that they let Joe compete for that strong side linebacker spot because he's just a baller. He is just a baller.
And you know what's so funny about that? They said that, and if you looked at Joe Thomas's play last year, it kind of fell off prior to the year before where you really saw a lot of spurts. But I think that was more of him being frustrated with Garrett because even remember when you saw when they had the video where people were not slapping Garrett's hands when they were coming off the field and they made a big old thing about, hey, Garrett's got his hands on, ain't anybody slapping his hands. One of those guys that he put his hand out was Joe Thomas. He put his hand out to Joe Thomas. Joe Thomas walked past and said, I ain't touching your hand, dude. Don't touch me, dog. But I think the biggest thing with this, when you look at it, under Mike McCarthy again, a Mike McCarthy guy. He played at Green Bay, and his best year was 2016 under McCarthy, where he had 70 tackles, and he didn't play. He didn't start all those games. 16 games, I think he only started 7 games and had 70 tackles. So that's damn good. So obviously you can see under McCarthy and under the system, he had really good years. So like you said, let him compete. Don't just give it to Sean Lee because he's the good old boy, Snake Lee. Well, I'm gonna stop saying that about you, Sean. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to do that. But I'm just saying, don't give Sean Lee the spot. Let Joe Thomas compete for it. And I think Joe Thomas wants more playing time. Give it to him. Let's see what he can do.
I'm telling you, man. I would be shocked if he doesn't beat Sean Lee. I think Sean Lee is going to be
Sean
more
Lee
of a
is not
mentor.
that guy. And he's definitely not that guy in coverage any longer.
Sean Lee is great at what he did last year. Come in on an emergency when one of the guys are out and start in a pinch.
And then go back to the bench.
And then help these guys out, be that cerebral assassin on the bench. You know what I'm saying? And let these because these all three, Joe Thomas, LVE, and Jalen Smith are athletic. And if you look at
Joe Thomas will lay the boom on you.
Oh, whoo, he did that a lot in Green Bay. And if you look at the linebacking group here as we have here since we got Joe Thomas back, we signed March back. It's Jalen Smith, LVE, Sean Lee are probably your top 3 guys. Joe Thomas, Justin March, Christian Coverton, and Luke Gifford.
Luke Gifford.
He's another guy who might shoot up that roster.
He was looking good.
I do not think linebacker needs to be addressed early in this draft. I will be pissed if it happens. I've been seeing across the Twitterverse and some on Facebook, people saying, "Oh, we still get a linebacker at first, second round." Why?
What's that? Why? That's dumb. Especially if you got LVE and, like I said, Patrick Walker, no C, has said the medical checks, and LVE says himself he's chopping at the bit to get back on the field. So if those turn out, as far as that neck condition, I still worry some about the neck. But if those turn out good, you don't have to do that. You still have 4 formidable linebackers and that second-year player in Luke Gifford, who looked really good on the come-up. Chris Covington, I ain't giving you no love.
No, I don't think he'll make the team. I just don't.
He makes it every year. I don't know how. So I'm not going to say that
it's a different regime.
Okay, well, we'll see. He's still there. That's all I got to say.
And guess who our defensive coordinator is? The linebacker coach for the New Orleans Saints, Mike Nolan. So he knows a little something about them linebackers.
I know he does. So let's figure it out with Covington, because I'm tired of seeing his ass on the roster.
Covington's like, remember when they kept cutting Keith Smith and then he kept coming back? Yes.
You know who could have been a good linebacker for us, but he hurt his neck? Devontae Holloman.
Oh, man, back in the day, South Carolina guy, right?
Oh, my gosh.
I liked
nice.
him. I liked him.
He was explosive.
I liked Holloman. It was sad to see his career kind of go out like that.
Man,
but I think the linebacker group, that room is full. I don't think you really need to address that in the first 4 rounds. If you get a value in the 5th, something like that, what have you.
Or free agent, or
free agent. But I'm really not trying to touch that. Meskin over in the chat box. I'm sorry. We're just going to call you Tony. He said, I just got on. What do y'all think about Dix and the DN from Carolina? You're probably talking about the DT from Carolina. We like the moves. So, Gerald McCoy, we love it. Clinton Dix, we like it. Obviously, these are all just names right now. Not names, but they're names on paper. We have to see it come into fruition, but we do like the moves, correct?
Yeah, and I think the thing is, when you had the Michael Bennett, I feel like McCoy is the trade-off for him, just like how you got Bennett. He's a couple years younger and offers, like I said, more in that run game as far as stopping the run than even though Malik Collins did. But you could see even when Bennett was there, he got sacks when he was there, and he was effective in the run game with the Dallas Cowboys in short spurts. So that's what the Cowboys are looking at. But at the end of the day, we still have to get that one strong one tech, because even if you got him out of BK, he's still a 3. And we still don't have that one.
He's a 3, and he's probably not going to play but he's probably not going to play most of the snaps until his second year. I still think McCoy got stuff in the tank.
Even Tristan Hill's a 3.
Yeah, there's that too. Dallas OB says, have we talked corners yet? Yes, we talked corners when we talked about Anthony Brown. Excuse me.
Mm-hmm.
Anthony Brown being re-signed and what we're doing with Chidobe Awuzie and Jordan Lewis. So yeah, we talked some corners, but you want to talk some more corners?
Probably want to talk and see if they're going to draft a corner. 17th pick. I mean, it's still a possibility. I just posted. It's still a possibility. I just posted an article today, and the darling name has been C.J. Henderson because he's been linked pretty good because he's already visited with the Cowboys as far as them having the interview with the combine. They've already talked with him. I said he was a guy, before the Senior Bowl, I was looking at him because he had those measurables. I mean, solid 6'1", a solid. I mean, he almost had the Byron Jones kind of measurables. Really, really athletic.
6'1", 200 pounds.
Yeah, and he really blew it away at the combine. I mean, he ran that 4.39. I mean, that's why they drafted Byron Jones, correct? I mean, he really went crazy and nutty at the combine, and it really pushed him up in that first round, and that's why the Cowboys went after him. So he could really be into play at 17. Also, there's Gladney from TCU, Fulton from LSU. Those guys could all be into play. Tavon Diggs from Alabama. Those guys could still be all into play. I think the position that's really going to be looked at 17th could be PBA, best player available. That's what it could happen. I mean, that's the way the Cowboys might be looking at as far as free agency, getting their holes in their eyes, and then they look at 17, hey, we're just going to take the best player available, and that very well happen on the 17th pick, especially if they don't trade out of it. Hey, ho, young Wilson comes with the 199 holla. Keep up the hard work, guys. Aloha and maloha. I love you.
Thank you, young Wilson. Appreciate you.
And K Swagger 33 comes back with the $2 holla. Cowboys Nation with the big arm. Bam.
Real quick, couple quick ones. Where'd you go here? Kevin, I'm not sure if you stuck around earlier. He says, do y'all think we'll go after Everson Griffin? At first, we thought that could be a possibility.
Yeah,
then
money.
Yeah, rumors start coming out. And they said that the Dallas Cowboys likely wouldn't do it. Stu says, with the XFL declaring the season over, will we go after Marquette King to challenge Chris Jones?
You damn sure better.
I love Marquette King. So,
I love seeing a black kicker. I'm not being racist.
No, remember we talked about before?
Yeah.
Did anybody find one for us?
No.
Find me a black field
goal kicker? Black field goal kicker.
Even though Marquette's a punter, but find me a black field goal kicker.
We need a black find a black one. Black. Not light skin like you.
Like CB4. Blackity black.
I'm blackity black. Yes, we need black. Because Reggie Roby was the only other punter.
We talked about
back
him
in the day. Yep. And he was a punter though. Field goal kicker though. Black one.
Andre says if they draft Delpit, Woods is done in Dallas. McCarthy wants bigger DBs. If they draft Delpit, that'll be interesting because Delpit is a free safety.
Fight it out. And this is Woods' last year. So just like you said, they don't have the loyalty to him.
I'll be honest.
Because this is his last year on the contract, and Job says Clay Matthews will jump in there as well.
Yep.
What we kind of talked about that. We could see him being situational, but it's really about the money. If he wants money, they ain't gonna do it.
It is.
But Delpit would be interesting, just like you said.
Yeah. See, here's the thing. At this rate, the way our roster is right now, if we're not looking at the future, McKinney is your guy over Delpit.
You think so?
If we're looking at the roster now, because everyone believes Delpit, Dix and Woods are free safeties. We don't really have that guy that can go in a box, get his nose in there, and get dirty, and that's McKinney.
Yeah, McKinney is that.
But the problem is, if we are projecting past 2020, Delpit has to be in play because we don't have a free safety beyond this year.
Right. But, so he would be the long-term answer.
Right, but do you stack your safeties with 3 finesse guys? And because you're like, okay, Delpit, we'll have him moving forward. And what do you do? Because he has to play. He has to start.
But remember what we talked about, though, Will. Remember they said that they're not going to be drafting players because of positions and the needs. They're going to go with players. So
BPA, right.
So if they're feeling like, hey, he's just a playmaker, we'll figure it out.
That's true. Yeah. Yeah, you could. Yeah, absolutely. Where was that one that I was looking on here? Carluto said, I would love to get a corner at 17 unless someone unexpected is there. You're more in tune with how these stocks rising and falling. Is there a guy, I know we all love CJ Henderson, but is there a guy in the first round after that, like first top 20 after that? Because I don't want to reach.
When I'm looking at it, I don't really see it. Like I said, Diggs has been talked about it. When you're looking at a lot of these other guys besides Okudah, Cameron Dancer is a good name, but he's not going to be a high first rounder, I don't believe. Damon Arnett is another guy, but he's going to be more of a second, third, fourth rounder maybe. I don't see a guy besides Okudah that would leapfrog Henderson as far as a cornerback position, because a lot of these other guys, Troy Pride, Dane Jackson, Darnay Holmes. These guys right here are more of those later round picks. So I don't see anybody sneaking up to say we'll overtake him. Now, Kristen Fulton is another guy that I would say would be the equal or the equivalent to probably them taking him at 17. Christian Fulton would be the guy. But other than that, I don't see anybody being that standout number one guy at the cornerback besides Okudah.
Okay. I'm getting kind of going in here looking at some updates. One of my guys said we actually lowballed Emmanuel Sanders. Speaking about the safeties, I'm sorry. Speaking about the wide receivers, we lowballed.
Of course they were. Of course they were. Well, this is the Dallas Cowboys. They weren't going to highball him, and he wanted money. He's 33. He's going to want a contract, just like Robert Quinn. He probably want to stay in Dallas, but Robert Quinn knows I'm 29 years old, 30 years old. This is going to be my last contract. How long was that contract he signed over there? 5 years.
He signed
$14 million.
Man, this contract's crazy. That's the one thing I don't like about Stephen Jones, man, is like, I mean, I hope he's not ruining possibilities of other players wanting to come to Dallas because they know, all right, man, no need to talk to him. He's going lowball us.
Yeah, he's going to cheat. He cheat.
Yeah.
And that he could be getting that reputation because we already know that rep is out there for him. And because he's jumped in that media, being the total opposite of his dad. Because his dad was all about, hey, I'll spend, I want players, and I don't care what it takes to get you. But Steven is not, and I don't know if he's feeling so great because he feels like he got the salary cap back together. And he's feeling so great about that he's going to keep with that motto. But when you look at the Cowboys, their records haven't been terrible. The drafts picks haven't been bad. Hasn't had bad drafts. I mean, we understand this last year, 2019, was more of an incomplete, but it can still come back and rise.
Yeah.
Because it was only 1 year.
Yeah. Yeah, we're going to lowball them because of the way the draft is, I think. That's what it is. I think they're going to get it. You're looking at a wide receiver probably round 3, round 2, depending on what we do here with the rest of free agency. Mm-hmm. Stevie said, didn't Cheeto play box safety in college? He played everywhere in college.
He played everywhere, but he definitely did play some safety in college. And he was a great blitzer off the edge in the slot. That was one of the things I liked. And I thought he was more of a safety. I said when he got drafted, look at him at safety. I said, don't be so sure with Cowboys keeping him at corner. And that was when he got drafted. When I interviewed him last year, I asked him, would you play safety? He jumped at corner. But guess what? If a team comes at you and say, hey, we'd like you to play safety, and that they give you that's kind of your option, hey. And guess what? It's prolonged a lot of guys' careers.
Yeah.
A lot of guys have left from cornerback and went to safety and played a lot longer and ended up being a lot better.
Mike McCarthy is prime example number 1 of bringing in a player that changed from corner to safety.
Made him a Hall of Famer.
Not saying he's, we're not calling him Charles Woodson. We're just saying he has experience with changing players' positions. We talked about it on the last show with Tony Pollard. He can be one of those guys that he'll use as a hybrid running back, a slot guy. He did the same thing with Randall Cobb. He changed Ty Montgomery's position completely from wide receiver to running back.
Donald Driver. Remember Donald Driver?
I remember Donald, but I thought he was just a receiver.
He was a receiver, but remember he used to have him throwing the ball a lot. He used to have him.
I am excited about what McCarthy can do with these players.
He does. If McCarthy can see you can do multiple things as a receiver or anything, he will do it. And just like you said, I definitely agree with that thought you were talking about, how you can get Tony Pollard on the field more by not just having him in the run game, by putting him at a receiver. I'm definitely feeling that. I was thinking about that the last 2 days because, like I said, when he was at Memphis, he was listed more as a receiver than a running back. And even his peoples, I heard from Bobby Belt that when he was going through the draft process and going to the Senior Bowl, his peoples were wanting him to go try out at receiver. And
they asked him to come down there.
Yeah, they asked him to go at receiver and at the Senior Bowl and not running back.
And see, oh man, this is why I'm excited for we go get a guy like Sanders or another slot guy, which I don't know how many is left. I know there was a rumor out there that one of our underground Adam Schefters had sent us that the Cowboys were one of the guys rumored to be interested in Marquise Goodwin.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, because they're trying to get rid of Marquise Goodwin.
Isn't he fast?
He's Olympic fast.
Because I remember, didn't he kill Revis one game on a fly pattern? Ate him up.
Bills? I think he played for the Bills.
Bills. Yeah.
Yeah, Marquise Goodwin has Olympic speed. He literally was in the Olympics. he's very injury prone. I would not be excited. I would just be like, okay, he's going to play 6 games for us. That's just how I look at it. He's like Deshaun Jackson. So I mean, if we're into that, whatever. I hope we don't give up anything more than a 6th-round pick. I guess he would be insurance for the draft because that's what Dallas does. We go out in free agency and we try to plug these holes with insurances. So when we get to the draft, we are not reaching. So Marquise Goodwin, I mean, I'll take it, but I wouldn't be excited.
Hey, remember Geronimo Allison? He's a free agent. He played with Green Bay too. He had some decent time with Green Bay with
Geronimo Allison.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and he actually played a little bit of the slot too.
Mm-hmm. And he's a big receiver. He's about 6'3".
He loved them big receivers. Problem with Allison is the same problem with Goodwin. He's always hurt.
True story.
You know what I'm saying? So it's like, what do you do? What do the Cowboys do? I mean, they have to plug it.
Do you think the Cowboys we're looking for that slot? I know Dez's name's going to come up, but he's not a slot guy. He's not that person.
He's not the prototypical slot that the old Cowboys look for. But if you go look at the Mike McCarthy wide receivers, those are some big boys that they ain't have no little Cole Beasleys out there.
Right, true story. He's had an affinity for big receivers.
Yeah, he drafted like 6'4".
Yeah, they'd be 6'3" and up.
I mean, some big boys. Was it Emmanuel Saint? Oh, what is his name? Saint something. I forget his name.
I know who you're talking about.
Yeah, and then there was another one he got
from
Notre Dame.
Yeah, big one, like 6'5".
He was huge.
He had that weird name.
I think they cut him eventually, though. Shout out to Tyrone. Church is in session. The $5 donation. He says
donation.
Browns indeed in the hunt for Everson Griffin is the. Hold on, brother. I'm trying to read this one, homie. Browns in the hunt for Everson Griffin, but they have Olivier Vernon.
They're going to get rid of Olivier Vernon.
They already said that. $15 million a year. Everson Griffin come to Dallas for $8 million. Well, the problem with that, my man Tyrone, is that it looks like Dallas is not going to cave into Everson Griffin.
Not no $8 million.
Equanimous St. Brown. Thank you, Andre.
Yes, that's what it is.
He had a crazy name. Well, I called him ESB because I used to trade him in Dynasty League and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, so what's coming out, Tyrone, is that, I mean, it's conflicting reports. Everson Griffin went on his Instagram and seemed like he would want to come here. He's 32, probably going to be 33 soon. Maybe that price comes down. Maybe it comes down. But right now, it looks like the price is higher than Dallas wants to do. Go figure.
And they're going to look at he's 32.
Yeah.
And they're not going to want to pay him $8 million at 32.
Yeah. But to kind of go back to the – because I know a lot of people think, oh, Dez Bryant, and it kind of gets blown out. It's just whatever. They don't want to talk about it. But I think it's something that you got to talk about because the Cowboys have not shut this shit down. Think about it, y'all. Think about it. Every time, Everson Griffin, Javian Clowney, Sanders, every time it has come up, what have they done? Oh, nope. Unless they come all the way down, we don't want. They shut that down. Dez Bryant talked to Stephen Jones. Stephen Jones is plugged in with Jane Slater. Jane Slater and everyone else in Dallas has not shut it down. Get ready. I'm not saying it will happen, but if it does, do not be shocked.
I don't think nobody will be shocked at all. I think, as I said, to me, I need to see it because, like I said, Steven is running that. Jerry Jones is that face and that voice and that money. Okay, but behind the scenes, Stephen Jones is making a lot of those decisions. And as I said before, Dez Bryant didn't call Jerry; he called Steven because he knows Steven's the one that's going to be saying you're allowed to come back because Steven was the one to let you go.
And it's probably going to be for the vet minimum.
Oh, it ain't going to be nothing.
My man Stu said, West Coast is really trying to sell Tony Pollard to the slot. What y'all think? We talked about this on the last show.
We've been talking about that.
Yeah, we brought that up.
He's not selling anything else to us. We've been talking about that.
Yeah, actually, one of the things that I talked about on the last show, Stu, was that this could be a position switch. I'm not saying full time, but he talked about in this press conference Randall Cobb being versatile, and he said he watched the tape and he said, they use Randall Cobb more on the outside, but when I had Randall Cobb, I used him in the backfield, I used him in the slot, I used him on the outside, I used him everywhere. And we talked about just now earlier, we talked about not Olivier Vernon, Ty Montgomery. Ty Montgomery switching positions. Mm-hmm. So this is, we've brought this up, and I mean, it's possible, but I don't think they're going to move him completely. I think they will use his versatility, which is something we've been begging for since last year. It was blasphemous not to put out there Amari Cooper, Michael Gallup, Tony Pollard, Randall Cobb, Ezekiel Elliott. Stupid.
You got to get your best players on the field. That's
to.
fact. Forgot that's why you have him. That's why you drafted him. You drafted Tony Pollard because you said that was your pet cat. You loved his explosiveness. You loved the multiple positions he could play. You loved the versatility of him. So you didn't want him have him on the bench. So this is his second year. You need to see what you have in Tony Pollard, and you drafted him for that reason, for the explosiveness that he brings. So find ways, and I feel like Mike McCarthy and Kellen Moore with this new thought and mindset, you won't have to worry about caving and throwing away the whole blueprint of what you want to do all week because you got scared because you're coaching for your job.
Absolutely. I just noticed your thing wasn't up there that whole dang time.
What? Oh, my Silver and Blue Nation?
Yeah, I'm like, what the hell?
Yeah, you over there slipping.
Too much coffee.
Yeah, you over there slipping monster drinks.
Dallas OB said, throw up the X. Yeah, I mean, look. Stevie said Logan Ryan is still an option. Most likely will drop in price. Dallas did reach out to him. Logan Ryan is interesting because he gets turnovers, he gets sacks, but he also gets beat a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of bit, actually, if you go look at his cover numbers. But I don't know, man. I don't know. I think I would be okay with Logan. At this point,
I think they're not going to do it. I think right now, honestly, if you didn't see them get hit Chris Harris, I think if you didn't see them get Trufant, I feel like they're done with corner. I just feel like
you might be right.
In my heart, I feel like when they said we re-signed Anthony Brown, we got this other kid, we're gonna draft now. I feel like that's what their thought pattern is.
I think they're rocking with Cheeto and J. Lou on
and
the
Jordan.
outside.
Jordan, I feel like they're in their head, just like with linebacker. I feel like we bought Marshall Little back. We re-signed Joe Thomas. We have Sean Lee back in the fold. We feel good about LVE's neck. We don't need to touch linebacker until possibly later. We like Luke Gifford. I feel like they're doing the same thing with corner. Yeah, we didn't get the big names, but we weren't going to pay that money. So we got this kid that you mentioned. I can't remember his name. What's his name?
Maurice Kennedy.
Maurice Kennedy. J. Lou. Let's see what he got, because you know what? We want to see if we're going to sign these guys long term. So why are we going to bring in a guy to say he's going to be the starter when all these guys are out on their contracts, right? J. Lou's last year, Cheeto's last year, and Xavier Woods. So don't you think they need to see what these guys have to check to see if we want to sign these guys long term? So why would you bring a guy in like these other guys, like a Trufant or even a Chris Harris, that are going to take their spots? You're not going to get a good eval of guys that you may want to sign later. And you're not going to keep a Chris Harris or a Trufant long term anyway. So you need to see what you have in these guys to see if you're going to extend them. And that's why I feel like they're staying pat at what they had and pushing these lineup and this draft a corner. Because if you draft a corner and if you lose a J. Lou or a Cheeto, you say, well, we have a guy who's going to be here the next 4 years, right?
Or they might, if you draft a corner high, they might just flat out beat one of them.
That's what I'm saying, though. Yeah. But you're not keeping a Chris Harris, and you knew you weren't going to keep a Trufant.
Well,
so we don't want them starting over them.
Yeah, you're not going to keep them for probably 4 years, but you're likely keeping them for a minimum 2, I would imagine.
But it's still
short term.
It's still short term, and you're stopping the progress of guys you want to see. Correct. You have to see what you have in J. Lou. J. Lou's not a bad player, and Cheeto, and like you just said, Wayne? This is a whole new regime, right? These guys are getting another chance, so you want to see what they look under this new regime. So why would you put guys in front of them?
What do you mean, like veterans?
Yeah,
because
I mean,
you still want to be better.
You still want to be better, but are you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, you're basically saying, as everybody's new, let these guys play it out and see who's best and come back to the table. And it feels like that's what they're doing, because listen, that Chris Harris deal, dog. Oh my gosh.
I mean, he got $8 million per.
Gosh.
Cowboys could have afforded that. You had Byron Jones going out and getting what, 16 and a half?
Bradbury got 15.
And they were still could have paid him.
So
they definitely could have paid Chris Harris.
Slade got 18, I think, didn't
he? Yeah. And I mean, I told you whatchamacall got crazy numbers.
Wayne?
Trey Wayne's got 14 per.
That one shocked me.
That was crazy.
But shocking.
And Anthony Brown got 5 over Denard, and Denard got 4 per. So you look at, they could have afforded that.
Yeah, I think I don't know if Denard's a slot, but I think what they did was they targeted Anthony Brown as a slot guy. And they said, this is what you are. This is the going rate. And honestly, if we're being honest, remove your hate for the guy, that is a really good spot for him.
It is. Yeah. He's a good third corner.
Is it Maui? Miss Hampton said, "How come I'm the only female in here?"
I don't know. Hey, tell Miss Hampton, go tell all your ladies, your cousins, all them. I want more ladies in here. Matter of fact, we're trying to get this interview with Brianna Dix. She's really good with Cowboys news. Was just on my homeboy show, Walt Chisholm. I told him to work that out because I want to get more ladies on here. I know ladies watch football. I want more ladies here. Go tell them ladies to get the hell in the chat group.
I'm actually going to have on one of my lives. I'm going to have a female guest come on. She knows her stuff on Twitter. I met her on Twitter. She's a Cowboy fan, huge sports fan. She knows her stuff, man. Maya, but we're going to have her on. There's a lot of Cowboys ladies out there, man.
Please get out there and tell them. Get on here. We want to hear these Cowboys ladies talk about it too, because I love when the Cowboys lady, especially Miss Scott
Miss Pro,
Pro, she comes in here. She let you know. I don't care if you think I'm a lady. I know my stuff. She'll let you know quickly about that.
Indeed. Andre believes we will target 3 people in the first round: Henderson, Delpit, or Murray, the linebacker.
We're not targeting Murray in the first round.
Well, he didn't say first. Well, I'm not sure. I'm not familiar with this Murray guy. Is he a first round target?
For other teams, yeah, he could be. He's a good player from Oklahoma.
Oh, it's not, dog. If we draft that man in the first round,
it's kind
of
it
don't make sense.
No damn sense.
Maui also said, "I see some folks that I know. I don't have many female buddies. Big game. Hi to all in the chat and to the host."
Yeah, please come on in. Hey, please come back for more.
She said,
subscribe.
Thanks for the daytime stream. Yeah, we were thinking about doing it in the evening. We always go in the evening.
We always go in the evening. We had to set it. Hey, but we quarantined.
But
both our jobs sent us home, didn't they?
It's the quarantine. It's the corn stream. You know what I'm saying?
Corn stream. They sent us home. They said, well, we'll pay. You just stay on home until this get better. So guess what we doing?
Definitely. D said, "Hey fam, I'm here. Love your show. Thank you. Thank you very much. Appreciate it, bro.
I hope you love both sides."
I don't want to do what Big Game did. I almost said appreciate it, brother. I'm gonna just say I appreciate it.
Appreciate you.
Don't
try to bust me out no more. Don't you try to.
If y'all
don't you do it.
If y'all
you
know,
better get your damn act together. Get your damn act together.
Get your damn act together.
Yeah,
you know which one I ain't do? Which all Cowboys Nation want the same thing Jerry want.
I want me some glory hole.
We all want that,
say it one more time.
I want me some glory hole.
Yes, we do.
Feel me? We need some glory. Always need glory hole.
We all want that. But yeah, we was like, you know what? Let's give the people what they want. Let's give them a daytime stream.
What up, Gambino?
Gambino in the chat. Uh-oh.
Oh, there you go.
Restream
you
chat.
all right?
Uh-oh. Connection.
You're good. It said unstable. Are you good?
It's popping up on your screen. All right, we cool. We cool
all
now.
Right, about to say.
We cool
Get your
now.
damn act together.
So, Ms. Hampton says, "Can you tell me your ideas on how the new special team squad will look like under a new special teams guru?"
I like her already.
Yet. I know, I do like that question, but you want to take that?
I like her already.
Thank you.
Make sure you subscribe. You hit that subscribe button?
Yeah, I don't know.
You better have.
Quite sure. I think I seen her on maybe it was Mark Holmes' page or something like that.
She better get in here and subscribe, man. Well, what do you think? I think the special teams are going to be better with Bones. He's more energetic. And guess what? Because Bones is there, and I don't know who said it on Twitter, because, I've been adamant about, man, come on, Tavon Austin, see you, bye. But now with Bones back there, he may come back now.
Yeah, bring him back. I'm all cool with it. Here's my thing about with Bones, with John Bones. Is it John or is it
Bones? It's John Bones Fossil.
Okay, the other one was, what's the other Fossil? Was Daddy?
Jim.
Thank you, Miss Hampton. She said she subbed last month. So Jim Fossil. Okay, so John Bones, that's his son. It's crazy to think about that.
You can sub to me too.
I think the special teams is going to improve immensely. Now, how is the unit going to look? We would not know that until literally the last cuts, because those last cuts are your primary special teams guys. So
they brought C.J. Goodwin back, and he was great on special teams too.
Right. We got like C.J. Goodwin, Joe Thomas, possibly Luke Gifford. Those guys are going to be a part of special teams, but we just don't know what the total shape of it, because we're going to have some receivers that play it, right? Mm-hmm. We're going to have probably a running back or two, depending on what we do play it. What's his name? Jameez Awale.
Mm-hmm.
He's probably going to play, but we just don't know yet, because it's a lot of different things that have to happen. Stooge said Cooper and Dix won a national championship in the state of Florida. The Super Bowl is in the state of Florida. Let's do it again.
I want me some glory hole.
I want me some glory hole.
like I said, it's going to be interesting, just in this draft. I really just want to see how this draft pans out. We've seen how the draft, we already seen how it's still angled in free agency. Cowboys are staying true to what they are. So that really didn't change too much with the new staff coming on board, that the Cowboys are still staying the same as far as their free agency thoughts and moves. But I'm really looking at this draft and what's really going to, the staff, the influence that the Mike McCarthy has, the influence that the Jim Tom Sula has, the influence of these other new guys that are out there. I really want to see what's going to happen with this draft and where they're going to go at, because you said it before. McCarthy is an offensive guy. He loves those receivers, but he drafts a lot of defense. He drafts a lot of corners. He drafts defensive ends, D tackles. So he'd go after in a defense. So it'll be really interesting to see how it is in those first 3 rounds. It's going to be really interesting, especially if they don't do any kind of trading. I just really want to see how they're going to go about it.
Yeah, that's one of the things we talked about, is we just don't know about the staff because it's a brand new staff. But I think we're seeing a little bit of a change in how we engage with free agents. It sounds to me, this is just me guessing, guys. I'm guessing that McCarthy, because he said it in his presser, he's going to have more say in personnel via free agency in the draft, right? Mm-hmm. And I think we see that. We've been linked to a lot of guys, not your normal linked, right? Not like, the Cowboys are linked to every free agent that comes up. We've been linked to guys that make sense. And these people have been talking about, we actually have real interest. Emmanuel Sanders came out and said, yes, this will be interesting to play for Dallas, and there's something
Every
there.
team does that, though.
Not team.
Every player. A lot of players do that.
No.
For Dallas. Yeah, they do.
I disagree. I don't think players literally come out and say these things about the Cowboys. We hear rumors. We hear the media putting this out. But a player like Everson Griffin coming out.
A lot of people but a lot of teams use a lot. I think a lot of players like to use Dallas as the angle.
I think agents do that. Actual players literally speaking the name of the team out. You don't see that often. But regardless, my point is that these names, we have real interest in bigger names. And then we went out and got a Gerald McCoy. We could have got Gerald McCoy for 3 years, and we didn't do it because the philosophy that Rob Marinelli and this team went by. Guess what? That changed because Mike McCarthy's in the building, in my opinion.
Now, guess what? What up, Mercedes, BMW, Porsche? My dog. What up with you?
You got it right.
Congratulations. What up, dog?
What's up, Mercedes?
What up, Mercedes?
Listen,
it's the Lex bitches in the Benz.
That's a classic one. If y'all know about Mercedes, I might just post that as a classic.
That's a classic. That'll probably go down in history.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. Definitely. When we look back.
When we look back, when we make it, we'll look back at that one.
Absolutely. That was fun. That was actually.
We gave an LOL. Woo!
I was in tears. Yo. Somebody hit me up. Who was it? Jamie. Jamie hit me up about that. He said, "Man, y'all had me rolling on that stream.
Oh my gosh,
everybody
was freaking classic.
That was a good one. That's the thing about us, man. We'll bring you some real in-depth talk about our Cowboys. If you're diehards like we are, if you're, you can't get enough of it, we're here for you. If you want to have fun with it, we're here for you.
Right.
Want to be entertained, we're here for you. If you want some, cool looking stream, we're here for you. We try to give you everything.
Try to give you everything, all of it.
Absolutely.
We could do videos with videos in the backgrounds. You feel me? With players in the background, game tape. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
We might jump in there one time, but do a breakdown video. Both of us. You never know what we're gonna do. We're always in the lab. Always in the lab.
Always.
Every day, try to figure out what we're gonna do, make it better for you guys.
Every time
Straight
you
up.
think, all right,
Real talk.
Boom, we switch it up on you.
Yeah, real talk. And we ain't never gonna say the same.
Nah, man, we're gonna keep adjusting to the way the industry is moving,
Mm-hmm.
and we're gonna keep up with the free agency world right now. I'm shocked. Big game, not gonna lie. There was no breaking news.
Yeah, but I think once we heard that money talking stuff, and when you heard Emmanuel Sanders said, "Hey, I'm looking at Randall Cobb and see what he got," I was already done with Emmanuel. Not saying I was done mentally. I love that route running, but once he said that, I was like, Dallas ain't gonna pay that. And then whenever Everson Griffin says, "Hey, I want some cash,"
Gambino said, "What's up with Everest Griffin?"
If
we could tell Everest Griffin to tell his cousin Everson Griffin to come on down.
Everson.
That's my man Gambino. What's up, brother? He's going to be too pricey apparently right now, Gambino. That's what they're saying. We'll see. But you know what's crazy though? We there's no breaking news right now because it's probably a day stream.
As soon as we go off, they'll be like blink.
Soon as tonight, I went to sleep yesterday.
They've been going to what midnight? That was.
I said, you know what? All right, everything's chill. I'm gonna try to get me a good night's sleep. Went to sleep at a reasonable time. I wake up in the middle of the night. Cowboys signed. Ha Clinton Dix. I'm like, come on, man. So it's very possible. All of our signings, Mari Cooper, McCoy, and Clinton Dix have all been well into the night. So maybe that'll happen again.
We'll see.
Maybe that'll happen again. Yeah, he said we got Haley 94 Ware said we gotta wait till almost midnight to hear about Cowboys trades. That's true.
What
man.
up, Haley?
That's true. Big game in the NFC East outside of the boys. Which team so far is most improved? Outside in the NFC East. That's
in the NFC East?
Mm-hmm.
Just in the NFC East besides us?
It has to be Philly, right?
You have to say the Philly. They just got Slay.
And Hargrave.
Mm-hmm. And
they're still the funny thing about the Eagles.
Philly is always on the move, man. Philly is always.
I envy them because they
always trying to get better.
Yeah, they
are super aggressive. They're always looking for a deal.
But here's the thing, though, and this is what pissed me off. Did y'all see this damn tweet going around about Darius Slay being the Amari Cooper stopper because he played Amari Cooper when he was hobbled and he played 40-some snaps?
And Gallup went nutty.
And they didn't mention a single word about Cobb and Gallup going nutty and Dack throwing for 440 and 3 touchdowns.
Gallup went nutty.
I mean, this is crazy.
But that's what they do. And but you know what? I made the post on Twitter because Darius Slay said, I think he was like, hey, that was a great matchup and Cooper is the real deal. I made that post. He was like, hey, he the truth. And so I think he was coming back and saying, hey, you guys need to chill out. Yeah, I played good against him, but Cooper's a dog. I appreciate that. I appreciate that respect. He came back and gave Coop. And so, but you know, Philly just always wants to run their mouth. Always want to keep our name. We'll be playing overseas, and they'll be talking about Dallas. You know what I'm saying? They're just.
And let's be honest, Philly still has a lot of work to do them damn selves. The Hargrave deal, I didn't understand that, man. They still got Malik Jackson. Maybe there's something to the Malik Jackson injury. But one of my Philly fans, a good guy, a co-host on my other podcast, he said, well, we played 3 defensive tackles under Jim Schwartz. And that's why they went out and got Hargrave. But y'all didn't just sign him to be a rotational defensive tackle. He got paid. He got paid to be one of the top paid defensive tackles in the league. So, you know, I do think they got better, obviously, by adding good players. But there's still questions at safety. No more Malcolm Jenkins. There's still questions at the rest of your cornerback position. He can't cover everybody. Linebackers are obsolete. There are none. No linebackers. Your quarterback gets hurt every time big games come up. You know what I mean? Your offensive line took a hit. No one wants to talk about it, but Peters is gone. Halapoulivaati Vaitai is gone. What do we do there? That was good
how you said that name.
How
you mess up regular names and you could say that one.
I don't even think I did say it right.
You said Halapoulivaati.
Halapoulivaati. I don't even think.
I said, how the hell you say that name and you can't say the other one?
Halapoulivaati. I don't even
You can't say goat.
Say what?
You can't say goat.
Goat? What do you mean I can't say goat?
Tyson Goat, remember it was Gote.
Oh yeah, no. The one I screwed up was Tucson.
Toucan.
I said Tuscan.
Tuscan. He said from Tuscan, Arizona. I said, what? He said it strong and authoritative, like he was so confident in it too.
Same thing with Massachusetts.
Hey, I got a question from Andre Robinson. He says, all these established quarterbacks are giving discounts. Will this hurt negotiations with Dack? I don't think so because they're old as hell.
This won't hurt negotiations.
No. I just think it's them years. They got to get that year figured out.
Yeah, they have to put this on his negotiations have to be put on hold because they got to sign out the rest of the roster. You know, if they put all their concentration into Dack right now, they ain't going to be signing nobody but special teamers. So they have to focus on this right now. Dack's tag is an extension, y'all. Don't freak out about it. He ain't playing on it. I'll go out on a limb right now, just like I went out on a limb and said he'll get tagged exclusively. I'll go out on a limb and say he will not play on this tag because there won't be one by the time it gets here.
No, because he's got to get into camp.
That
OTAs, all that. That's not going. It can't drag out. It cannot. It cannot. It absolutely cannot drag out.
So Joe says, what would happen if Dack doesn't sign a franchise tag and what would happen? That's what would happen.
He's not gonna. That's not
Dack.
not gonna happen.
It's not.
That's not nobody except a select few. How many people, Melvin Gordon, like I said, the only one of Le'Veon Bell, but he didn't really make a huge come up by sitting out. But these guys all say, hey, I'm not signing that tag. I'm sitting out. Guess what? Until you miss 6, 7, 8 game checks, and then you miss that salary and you have made no kind of money the years prior, you're going to sign that joker.
Here's the funny thing here. Andre says, Mahomes also talked to the media about taking less to win championships. Listen.
Come on.
Guys.
Come on. Come on, man.
Guys, no quarterback is taking less in their prime.
Hell no.
I'm going to put quotations. Less. No quarterback is doing that in their primes. This isn't 42-year-old Tom Brady. We're talking about a 26-year-old, 4-year veteran that played on pennies. And then, obviously, Mahomes. You think Patrick Mahomes
is taking a damn discount? What?
On,
that dude's going to be like, hey, I want 45.
Come on, man.
And you going to pay it.
What
you going to say no? You going to say no?
Funny.
You going to say no?
What's less than Patrick Mahomes? 41? 40?
Yeah. What you going to say no?
Here's the funny thing. He going to break the record.
He going to ask for 45.
He going to break the record, and people going to be like, man, Patty took less. How you take less when you the highest paid in the history of the league?
I'm just saying, he going to go in there with 45.
Now,
I want 45.
Now, Joe, for Dack's, not Joe, I'm sorry, who said that? Andre. For Dack's purposes here, listen, he played for pennies for 4 years. He's letting his people do the work right now. If his people really, this is my opinion, really became overly playing hardball too much, and it came down to, okay, Dack, they want to give you 36.5, you want 38. We're not doing it, and we're talking about missing camp in the season. I guarantee you, Dack would be like, nah, man, listen, I'm gonna take that 36.5. But I think Dack is letting his business people handle the business matters, as McCarthy said, and that's what he's supposed to do. What is the rush? What is the rush for Dak Prescott right now? Can you tell me?
He don't need to sign it
doesn't.
Because they need him right now.
There's no rush, man.
I mean, they got Cooper Rush as a backup signed. Come on, dog.
Yeah.
And I looked in the comments and said they folded with Zeke.
They did fold.
They did.
Stupidly. I hope they learned their lesson.
Yeah, they should have never caved.
But
you know what? Zeke was one smart mud sucker because he knew exactly what they were going to do to him. He knew exactly what they were going to do him as a running back. That's why he did what he did with 2 years left. Because he knew they were going to run that whole other year of him down and then take his value away and say, oh, no, we're not paying you that money. We're going to pay you like 10 because you already added another year.
I don't even think they would have came. And if the funny thing about the Zeke thing, and Andre said, I understood. I feel you. Yeah, listen, by the way, I'm not yelling at you, Andre. This is just how we are. This is just, we passionate like all y'all are.
Mm-hmm.
The thing about Ezekiel Elliott, and this is funny we bring up Zeke, I'm glad you did, because with Devontae Freeman getting released, with Le'Veon Bell having a down year after getting paid, with Todd Gurley,
Gordon just signed, but they're not getting big money.
Todd Gurley, the 4th highest paid running back, right? But he's not getting paid what he wanted. So with all these running backs, kind of the market just dipping even harder, Zeke got his, but Zeke was worth it for what he can bring to the field, which is consistency, health, elite play. He's worth it to him, to how football operates. In my opinion, you don't pay a running back like that right now. You just don't pay a running back
not
like that.
Not 15 per.
You didn't need to do it.
Not 15 per.
And this is not 15 per. And this is no knock.
It's not against Zeke.
It's not a knock against Zeke, y'all. And I want people to understand that.
That's what people. But see, that's what people think. As soon as you say you shouldn't have paid him $15 million, you shouldn't have paid him that money. I wrote an article about this, and people crucified me because I said, could this be the end of Ezekiel Elliott? Spell the end of Ezekiel Elliott before that deal was coming up. I said, because they don't pay running backs like that, and it's been proven in the playoffs and Super Bowls that you don't need an all-pro running back to win a Super Bowl. You just saw it last year, saw it year before. You don't have that. That is over with, and you can get by with having 2 good running backs. You don't have that, but it's not taking anything away from Zeke.
No.
It's just saying you don't have to do that. Melvin Gordon just signed, right? He just signed with Denver. He's making $8 million a year.
That's what it was. That's why he's the fourth highest paid, because it's $8 million. Here's the funny thing. I wrote an article on Blogging the Boys years ago, right when we did the running back by committee with DMC and Randall. What's his name, man? Joseph Randall. And I heralded it because I'm like, the move to go with the committee, because I'm like, hey, this is what's winning. And if you go back, I mean, all the way back to the early 2000s and mid 2000s, the Giants, the Steelers, the Patriots, right? A lot of teams, the Colts, even though the Colts had Joseph Adai, they also had the other cat. I forget his name. A lot of those teams had multiple backs, multiple that were successful. And last year we saw both of those teams, multiple backs that were successful. Year before, C.J. Anderson, Denver, and they had multiple backs. Like it's just hard. I know we look at 2 years ago, we look at Todd Gurley went to the Super Bowl, but guess what? Todd Gurley didn't carry that team to the Super Bowl. He didn't. C.J. Anderson and Todd Gurley helped carry that team to the Super Bowl.
And C.J. Anderson went nutty.
So I just think they shouldn't have caved, but I get why Zeke did it. Is all.
Yeah, he was smart. He was smart. He knew that what they were going to do to him, and he beat him to the punch.
Somebody had said something in here about Philly. I wanted to run back on here and mention, because
they have an out in 2023 anyway.
For Zeke.
Mm-hmm.
Here's the thing about Zeke. Like, I think he's going to be fine under his contract.
Dominic Rhodes
is the other guy.
Yeah.
Yes.
Thank you, Andre.
Yeah.
Appreciate you, Andre.
But you see what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
You know, I'm not saying it has to be a full-blown committee, but multiple. But even no one wants to talk about it. But find me the back. I have an article, and I ain't gonna bring it up, but y'all can find it. Y'all can Google there was a backup for the Ravens the year they won the Super Bowl. They had Ray Rice, but they also had a backup that also ate that year.
Was it a big boy? Was it LaRon?
You know what? I'll take a look right now.
What was his name? LaRon something,
Somebody
I think.
gonna find it. I'll take a look. Hold on.
McLean?
LaRon McClain was the fullback guy. Was that 2012?
Yeah.
If somebody brings it up before I do, let me know. But
and just like D Lunatic, while we're looking at that, he says receiver by committee excuse me, doesn't work. Running back by committee does.
Absolutely.
And recent history proves it, and he's correct.
It does. If you just go look up and down, the Super Bowl winning teams, it literally proves it. I cannot find the dude's dang on name. It's killing me now because I'm determined. What could have been Vontae Leach? No,
Vontae Leach. Hell no.
What year did they win it then? Was it 2012 or 2011?
When that was 2012, I believe.
Somebody get that damn name for me. It's gonna bug the shit out of me.
Come on, Andre. Where you at? Or Stevie Mac? Where you at?
Yeah, Stevie's usually good with those ones.
Where you at?
Oh, they didn't win it that year. It had to be 2012.
I said 2012.
Right. I'm talking to myself. Like, it had to be that year. Couldn't have been Vontae Leach. Leach might have. But I don't think it was him.
I don't think he was tearing up like that.
No,
though.
It wasn't him. It was he's a fullback. It was a running back, and I can't remember his name. But anyway, you can go back. The last one, in my opinion, that won the Super Bowl primarily on their back with the defense was Marshawn Lynch.
You talking about Seahawks?
Oh, they won in 2013.
2013.
So that might, but they were 8-8.
2013, you sure? I think it was 2012.
It might have been the calendar year 2013, but I don't think they won the Super Bowl at 8-8. At any rate, but Bernard Pierce. I think he was the one. Let me see.
He had 532 yards rushing.
Yeah, there we go.
532 yards rushing. Ray Rice had 1,143.
So 16. See what I'm saying? Ray Rice didn't just carry that team.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? They both contributed to the run game. Zeke had more than 1,100 yards every year of his career, besides the suspension year.
Mm-hmm.
So, but regardless, it is what it is. It's happened. I just want to say that Zeke will be fine during this, but they definitely could have held tight and not caved in. That's all. That's what I'm saying. But somebody said something about the Eagles, because I wanted to get back to the Eagles. Wentz did set a record for fastest time going down on injury in the playoff game.
Stevie Mack says Emmanuel Sanders in talks with the Bucs now because he's probably seeing Tom Brady, and they got money still.
And they don't pay it. Oh Lord, jeez, can you imagine?
Yeah.
Mike Evans, Godwin, and Sanders.
Yeah, that'd be pretty lethal. But let's see what Tom Brady's going to do with your new team. That's going to
I don't know
cement
what
your
the line look like, but
that's what is going to cement his legacy to me. If you go over there, he's not
another notch.
Okay, well, I will just tell you this: he's not the GOAT to me over Joe Montana. He's not.
Well, this is fun. Well, why not? I mean, I think Tom.
I will
is
tell
right
you
there.
why not, because Joe Montana won every one of his Super Bowls, did not lose. Also, Joe Montana, when he did leave, I want to see him go to.
Go ahead.
When he left and he went to Kansas City, he made them better and he took them to an AFC championship. I want to see what Brady can do. If he can go into the NFC and win and go to the playoffs and win, then I feel like that'll cement your legacy. But I don't,
So what is Tom, the
like
second best?
I'm saying he's going to be in that right now, that top as far as the GOAT.
Yeah.
I don't know if he's number 2. He probably will be there with Manning, I would say. But yeah, I would say he's probably number 2. But the GOAT to me is still Joe Montana. Sorry.
I can't argue with that. When you're 4-0 in the Super Bowl, and he's not the most prolific passer, but he was Brady before Brady.
Montana was nasty. Surgical.
K Swagger says Terrell Davis twice with the Broncos. I don't know if you're talking about. Are you talking about running backs? We're not going back that far. That was a whole different era. If we go back to the 90s.
But if he's talking about that, I mean, different running backs winning.
No, it's a different era. The whole entirely different era. Back then, you had the Emmitt Smiths and the Terrell Davises and the what's his name, Jerome Bettises and what's the Hall of Famer with Buffalo. Man, you had these bell cows left and right.
O.J. Simpson.
No, that's way back.
Who was the Hall of Fame running back with Buffalo?
Before Thurman Thomas.
Oh yeah,
Thurman Thomas is. And, I mean, we can go on and on with the running game. It was all about the running game in the 90s. I'm talking about in the modern day football. Go about the mid 2000s to now. You're hard pressed to find a bunch of Super Bowl winning teams that rely solely on a one running back. It's hard.
And now they're going to bring up Derrick Henry, but you would be crazy to pay him that money.
Well, Derrick Henry ain't win no Super Bowl,
but I'm just saying, they're going to say that what he did, but no, he could have that this year and then down. Running backs go from here to down there in 2.5 seconds.
That's what's scary about the Zeke contract.
That's why it was scary, because remember how we always say you don't people are like, oh well, that don't apply to Zeke because he's durable. It's one injury and that could change the whole career with Zeke.
Yeah,
because he's getting hit every play.
I think Stevie's talking about Emmanuel Sanders. He said he's more of an outside guy, but Bashard Perriman is out there. That dude,
he's always hurt.
And Godwin were injured. He did kill when Evans and Godwin were injured, but he's a journeyman. I mean, and he's not a slot like you said. I mean, we still do need some depth at the X and Z though.
Yes.
I mean, yeah. So I mean, we do.
But that's why they're going to attack receiver in the draft.
That's
the
thing. That's the thing. I don't.
They're going to come at receiver in draft.
They ain't paying no receiver more than probably $5 million, like you said, man.
No, they're going to pay him in that draft money.
What do we got? I mean, Devin Smith, I hope he comes back. That's my
Devin
guy,
Smith, they got your boy
Cedric Wilson.
from Toledo, Cedric Wilson.
Yeah, they don't got nobody they can count on. So yeah, I would like to see them.
Johnson.
Yeah, no. I would like to see them go get one proven guy. Proven, when I say proven, I don't mean, Pro Bowler. Just a guy that's had some good
So if
success.
one of the guys go down, he can slide right in and still be feeling confident that he can win games like Cobb. That's why you wanted Emmanuel Sanders.
That's why Sanders.
Because if we got a $2 holla from K Swagger 33, Cowboys Nation.
Shout out to you, K Swagger.
With the big But that's why you love it, Emmanuel Sanders, because if one of those guys did get hurt, he could slide right in. And that's why you like Cobb, because he could slide right in and play the X or the Y or more the, you wouldn't be feeling like, oh, damn, what are we going to do now?
Right. Absolutely. The lunatic said, it's crazy. I was going to open up the damn phone lines and I didn't do it. This would have been a really good time to do it because some of y'all are bringing in some good stuff here. The lunatic said that he called in, I think, on my last show. D. Henry only had one good season, and that was last year. Old school NFL was running. Today's NFL is passing. Absolutely. Which is why I was ass backwards to pay your running back and not your quarterback and receiver.
And receiver.
Be hustling backwards, dog.
They got scared. They got scared.
Be hustling backwards. We need
They got
to
scared.
learn our damn lesson. But we did sign Cooper. Got Gerald McCoy. Maurice Kennedy.
Canada.
I think that's how you say it.
We'll say it
And-
like that.
Yeah. Mocan. We got Mocan.
Mocan.
And we also got High Clinton Dix. So what's likely to happen is there'll be some news that'll break when we go off air over the night. That's what's been happening. And once that happens, man, we will definitely be here either the next day or with the late night hype. We might have to do a late night hype sooner if we get real breaking news. If we get
Like
snacks.
Snacks or Dack?
So it is Canada.
It's Canada.
Yep. Good.
All right.
saying
So
that.
if we get snacks, so be prepared, y'all. If we get snacks or we get Dack, we going live.
Oh, we going live. What the
Because
Bill?
we're gonna be doing a hallelujah dance. We get snacks.
What did Bill O'Brien say? Or Bill O'Reilly? He said, "We're going live.
And we're going live.
We're going live."
Like Law says, live like 95.
95. It was a good year. Super Bowl.
95 was a great year.
Yeah.
I love 95. The 90s was awesome.
I'm kind of a 90s kid. I was born in the 80s. The 90s was the longest decade that I grew up in. So
90s was.
Loved it.
I mean, I've seen them all them eras. A lot of eras, not all of them eras. But a lot of-
you're showing your
Ain't that-
age.
I ain't that damn old, but that 90s sticks out to me. I seen them 80s, them 70s, them 2000s, but the 90s stands out to me as far as music, sports. I don't know. It's just something about them damn 90s. It was a good era.
Yeah, I love that 90s R&B, brother, and the 90s hip hop.
Man, 90s hip hop, 90s R&B, even pop, regular
Yeah,
music.
yeah, pop.
like,
Yeah, top 40 was different.
was banging. I mean, the 90s was hot. The 90s was the shit.
K Swagger said we need more late night hype. Y'all gonna get it. I just
Hey,
gotta
wait
stick with us.
wait till we get that season rolling, y'all. Y'all better all the way be in there. Hey,
Oh, man.
and just to give y'all some heads up, I got a guy, and I know you, Skywalker, you got a guy who does did your caricature for you.
Yeah.
But
One
I
of
got,
my logo guys. Yeah.
I got one of my guys that he's going to be. I talked to him today about the late night hype
You
merchandise.
gonna hook us up?
Yeah, so look for that soon. Late night hype merch.
Let me
is,
know so I can wear it because y'all can't see
yeah,
it right
'cause
now.
we-
But I
yeah.
got my joint on here. Here's
Yeah,
Skywalker.
so we're gonna bang down. You know, you see my Big Gang James shirt.
Oh yeah.
So we're gonna get that popping for real, very soon. So pay attention and get that merch when we get that popping. Y'all gonna love it.
Click them notifications, man, because right now we're doing Tuesdays, but that could change. Like I said,
Tuesdays is the main one though. That is the
Yeah.
late night hype. But
yeah.
we can always freak one when something banging, boonga, banga happens.
Yeah, so make sure you guys stay locked with that. And
The
as-
Stargaze podcast.
yeah, you know what's crazy? Yesterday I was like, man, I'm about to go ahead and I just want to record a podcast episode, but we doing the lives right now because everybody like to see us. I like to see
Yeah.
these faces.
I ain't the prettiest, but I'm all right.
Hey, man. Hey, what you call Boo thing? She digging it.
Hey, as long as the boo thing love it, I'm good. You feel me? I know your boo thing love it too over there. So as long as our boo things love it, I'm good.
Hey, Boo thing. This is what Big Game said.
I want me some glory hole.
You heard what he said, Boo thing. God damn it. Oh man, we gonna get up out of here.
It's great. That glory hole is great
Ah,
too.
damn. Oh no, time
All
out, time
right,
out.
I'm done.
Hey, my boo that came up here. Hey, Boo,
I want me some glory hole.
I'm coming up.
You better get on up. Stop.
Get on up,
Get on up here, girl.
Hey, we appreciate y'all coming through, man. Keep rocking with us. Subscribe, like, share, comment, all that.
That's how we do, man.
On behalf of Skywalker, still myself, Big Game James. We out. Peace. Love you too, Andre.
Love you.